Chapter 4640. Not good. Huiyuan and the rest felt chills down their spines. The power of the broken sword was too terrifying. Lin Xian struck out with the man-ruler seal, pushing the broken sword back. He frowned. The power of the broken sword was beyond his imagination. The broken sword floated in the air, emitting endless sword qi that swept across the area. Lu Yu, Huiyuan, and the rest thanked Lin Xian. That attack was too dangerous. If they were not prepared, they would have been injured. They would all be injured, or even killed. The broken sword was terrifying. Lu Yuan looked around and saw the broken sword. He then took a deep breath. This was one of the 7 top-grade broken swords. Who would have thought that they would encounter it? A broken sword was nothing. It could be suppressed. Lin Xian nodded. Although he could not break the broken sword, it was not a problem to suppress the seal. But at this moment, Huiyuan turned his head and looked into the distance. He cursed. Not good. They saw a black cloud flying towards them. At the same time, there were 3 broken swords behind the black cloud. They were charging towards them. Everyone was in despair. Damn it, Serene Cloud Sect. Lin Xian, retreat. They could not withstand the 4 broken swords. But unfortunately, it was too late. The people of Serene Cloud Sect were already nearby. Their bodies gradually dissipated. I heard that you obtained a pill here. You were really lucky, but this time you have used up your luck. Go to hell. A cold voice sounded. The 3 broken swords were already charging towards them. Huiyuan and the rest's faces darkened. Damn it. The 3 broken swords were charging towards them together. This was a scene of death. Retreat! The elders of the Heavenly Thunder Palace also roared. Lin Xian looked at Huiyuan. He said, "You should have no problem suppressing a broken sword with your men." Huiyuan nodded. "If we go all out, it's not a problem. But there are still 3 swords." Indeed, that was what he was most worried about. Lin Xian smiled. "Leave the rest to me." He walked out, his figure like a demon god. Lu Yu and the rest were stunned. Huiyuan said, "Gong Zi, this broken sword is terrifying. Don't take it head on." "Don't worry, leave it to me." Lin Xian soared into the sky, and at the same time sent a palm strike towards the 3 broken swords, enveloping them. He brought them to a place far away. Huiyuan gritted his teeth. "Young master, be careful. We have to suppress this broken sword with all our might." As he spoke, he waved his hand and led his men to attack quickly. Those from the Pill Cauldron School attacked while asking Senior Brother Huiyuan, "Can that brat succeed?" Huiyuan said, "Show some respect to him. He saved our lives." Moreover, this time, he did not mention any conditions and took the initiative to take away the 3 broken swords. This is our benefactor, so we must address him as Lin Gongzi. Understand? We cannot be ungrateful. Senior brother, you're right. We understand. The surrounding people quickly nodded as well. Huiyuan looked into the distance and said, he hoped that Yi Fuqian was fine. In front of him, the 3 broken swords let out a deafening sound as they tore the golden hand into pieces. Lin Xian stood with his hands clasped behind his back, looking at the 3 broken swords, his eyes shining with a cold light. It had to be said that the heavenly court back then was truly terrifying. The 3 broken swords were now like 3 peerless powerhouses, making him feel a sense of awe. The 3 broken swords separated and enveloped Lin Xian, emitting a terrifying light. Then they turned into lightning and charged towards Lin Xian. Every attack was aimed at Lin Xian's vital points. Each of the 3 broken swords was extremely terrifying and indestructible. When combined and coordinated, they were extremely terrifying. They did not look like 3 weapons at all, but 3 peerless powerhouses. Lin Xian waved his fist to fight back. At this moment, a broken sword appeared in front of him, breaking through his fist shadows and charging towards him. Lin Xian raised his hand to block, but he was forced back, his entire arm numb. It was really shocking. If it were any other time, he would definitely study it carefully. However, he could not do so now, as there were powerhouses everywhere searching. Perhaps there would be a new discovery at some point. Therefore, he decided to use some of his trump cards. He formed a seal with his palm. Mountain embracing seal. The primordial demon mountain tore through the void and charged down, pressing towards one of the broken swords and suppressing it. That sword emitted a terrifying light as it resisted. Endless runes appeared on its body, interweaving with the great Tao, forming a sword shadow that slashed towards the primordial demon mountain. It was like a divine sword from the 9 heavens. A sonorous sound was heard, and the primordial demon mountain shook. Lin Xian roared, "Suppress!" On the primordial demon mountain. Endless terrifying light erupted, completely suppressing one of the broken swords. The other 2 broken swords charged towards the primordial demon mountain. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the Taiji diagram appeared in his left hand, enveloping one of the broken swords. With his right hand, he directly attacked and grabbed it. That broken sword was like a giant dragon crazily attacking. Lin Xian roared towards the sky, and the power of the Taiji diagram erupted, sealing it. The other sword was thrown to the ground by Lin Xian. Boom! Boundless sword light flew out from his palm and bombarded the broken sword. Then it sealed the broken sword. On the other side, Huiyuan and the others also worked together to repel the broken sword. They flew quickly. Lu Yu was anxious. She did not know how Lin Gongzi was doing. Huiyuan said, hoping that he was fine. With his strength, even if he could not suppress it, it would not be a problem for him to leave safely. Suddenly, they stopped because they felt an extremely terrifying aura around them, as if an earth-shattering battle had happened here. Just this aura alone made Huiyuan and the others' hair stand on end. What was going on? Could it be that? Lu Yu and the others did not dare to imagine. But at this moment, a voice sounded from behind them. "It seems that you have settled it." Hearing this voice, Lu Yu suddenly turned her head. Tears turned into laughter. "Lin Gongzi, you're fine." "That's great." Huiyuan also walked up and said, "Our benefactor is mighty." At this moment, a huge aura spread in front of them, and then a terrifying power erupted. Not good. A peak sage king was fighting again. Everyone was shocked and looked up. Many older generation figures had appeared, fighting between heaven and earth. They did not know what they were fighting for. Lin Xian said and followed. He was the first to move, quickly flying into the distance. The battle there was extremely intense. He came nearby to watch. At this moment, a huge hand came down from the sky, sending everything flying. Those peak sage kings also retreated one after another. How terrifying! Everyone was dumbfounded. This power had completely surpassed that of a sage king. A supreme sage had attacked. As expected, the figure of a supreme sage appeared between heaven and earth, and all the sage kings retreated. The great sage's hand reached out and grabbed one of the shattered palaces, as if he were searching for something. In the next moment, he took the broken palace and soared into the sky, wanting to leave. But at this moment, the storm in the sky directly enveloped the supreme sage's palm. Heavens, someone was attacking a supreme sage. Lu Yu and the others had just arrived when they saw this scene. They were so scared that they almost fainted. Huiyuan also took a deep breath. It was someone from the Wind Clan. That's right, the storm in the sky was the attack of the Wind Clan Supreme Sage. After the Wind Clan Supreme Sage, another person attacked. It was as if 100,000 suns had descended together. The bright light made everyone unable to open their eyes. Chapter 46-41. Heavens, what a terrifying flame! It was the great sage of the Golden Crow tribe. Everyone was shocked. Just then, another terrifying black cloud filled the air. The terrifying aura was incomparably cold. Everyone felt as though they had arrived in hell. Some people were terrified. The great sage of the serene cloud sect had arrived. 4 great sages joined in the battle. Their terrifying power broke through the heavens and earth. Just then, there was a roar. A ray of light streaked across the heavens and earth. It was so fast that no one could see it. It was the great sage of the Light Clan. Were they here too? The great sage of the remote antiquity family had finally arrived. After the great sage of the Light Clan, the great sage of the Holy Heavens clan arrived with a sky full of holy light. Everyone was terrified. The battle ahead was even more terrifying. In the sky, a divine cauldron appeared. Torrential divine flames spread out in all directions. It was the great sage of the Pill Cauldron sect. These top sects and remote antiquity families had all sent their great sages. The other sage kings had all retreated far away. Buzz. The entire void was shattered into pieces. Even the shattered ruins were reduced to rubble and scattered in all directions. Many of them flew towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden radiance. In the next moment, a sharp light burst out. He stretched out his hand and grabbed in front of him. Could it be that a treasure had fallen down? When the others saw this, they exclaimed. In an instant, more than 10 figures rushed towards Lin Xian. It seemed that they wanted to snatch the treasure too. Just then, someone roared, "Get lost!" A golden claw appeared between the heavens and earth, tearing everything apart. More than 10 figures flew backwards. Their faces were filled with fear. Someone exclaimed. It was the expert of the Golden Crow tribe. Golden Crow How descended in a domineering manner and stretched out a huge golden hand to grab at the surrounding void. The surrounding void kept shattering. Everyone saw that there was only one thing that was intact. It was a fragment. There were many patterns on it, like a corner of a tortoise shell. There seemed to be something recorded on the ancient tortoise shell. Everyone was shocked. However, Golden Crow How's appearance made everyone fearful. No one dared to step forward. He was a top genius, an expert. The person who had attacked before was probably unlucky. Golden Crow How snorted. "Do you think you are qualified to take this thing?" Killing intent surged from its body. Lu Yu, Hui Yuan, and the others quickly retreated. Lin Xian sneered. "A loser like you still has the face to be arrogant in front of me?" He clenched his hand into a fist and punched out, shattering all the light on his opponent's body. Lin Xian waved his hand and covered the tortoiseshell completely. "How dare you?" Another cold snort was heard, and a man in battle armor appeared between heaven and earth. This person had an ice-cold power. Everyone was terrified. Was he here too? After the spirit arrived, it stared at Lin Xian and handed the item over. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "Speak with your own ability." Golden swords burst out from his eyes and pierced forward. "You want to contend against me with just you?" An evil sword flew out and swept in all directions. His gaze met with Lin Xian's. Heaven and earth collapsed, following which the evil spirit charged over. On the other side, Jin Wuhao also made his move. It seemed that they all wanted to obtain the tortoiseshell. Not good. Everyone was flabbergasted. Even though Lin Xian had displayed his prowess earlier on, but right now it was Evil Spirit and Jin Wuhao who were working together. Could he fight against them? Hui Yuan was terrified. In the next moment, he shouted, "Great, the top prodigy of Pill Cauldron sect is here. Lord Jiang Chun, please save him." Jiang Chun was in the air, with 4 fire dragons under his feet, bearing their fangs and brandishing their claws. A cauldron floated in his hand as he stared at Lin Xian. Then he asked coldly, "Why did you save him?" Hui Yuan said, "He saved us previously. That's your problem. He might be holding a treasure from the heavenly court. Hand it over, and I'll let him go." A cold voice sounded. Hui Yuan and the others' faces turned ugly. They did not expect Lord Jiangchen to attack Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "If you want the treasure, speak with your own strength." With a roar, he slapped out the man-ruler's seal. 3 man-ruler's seals flew towards the 3 of them. "You're courting death." Golden Crow, how he and Evil Spirit sneered. "You want to challenge the 3 of us alone? You don't have the right." Jiangchen held the cauldron in his hand and said coldly, "Since you saved the disciples of Pill Cauldron sect, I won't kill you, but I'll suppress you." The cauldron opened, and monstrous divine flames rushed out, enveloping Lin Xian. Oh no! Everyone was stunned. However, a sword light tore through the divine flames, and Lin Xian walked out forcefully. "There's only one treasure. Who should I give it to?" A tortoise shell floated above his hand. In the next moment, a golden light appeared in his eyes. He had already used an illusion. As expected, with the tortoise shell and the illusion, the 3 experts were no longer working together. Lin Xian charged forward. The 4 of them fought. This time, they were really fighting for themselves. The surrounding sages did not think much of it. They thought that everyone who saw a treasure would fight for themselves. However, some of the older experts were shocked when they saw this. This was unusual. This young man must have used some kind of method. It was too terrifying. After 300 moves, the evil spirit suddenly shouted coldly, "Damn it! How dare you use an illusion on me?" The phantom of an evil sword appeared in his eyes, destroying everything. Jiangchen also roared, "Unforgivable!" Golden Crow House shouted angrily, "Damned brat! How dare you ambush me?" The 3 of them were really angry. Had they unknowingly fallen for the other party's illusion? Lin Xian laughed and grabbed the tortoise shell again. "The 3 of you are only SOSO. As he said that, he pushed his hands forward, and a Taiji diagram appeared. The yin-yang sword swept forward. The 3 of them roared furiously as they sent all the sword chi flying and charged over. This time, the 3 of them had joined forces and were prepared. They were probably in danger. Lin Xian sneered. "So what if I'm fighting the 3 of you alone? Come on." His black hair fluttered in the wind, and his hands opened the sky. Endless sword chi erupted from his body. At that moment, he seemed to have transformed into a peerless god of war. He was extremely powerful. For a moment, the 3 of them could not take him down. That shocked everyone. At that moment, another cold snort was heard. A large golden hand enveloped them. Boom! The expressions of Jiangchen and the others changed. The power was also terrifying, not weaker than theirs. In the next moment, they quickly retreated. With a boom, a large crack appeared in front of them. Following that, a man in purple walked over, his power suppressing heaven and earth. "Yi Wu Dao!" Golden Crow House snorted coldly. "Are you going to meddle in our business? Lin Xian is my friend. You can fight 1-on-1, but if you want to fight 3-on-1, you'll have to ask me first." Yi Wu Dao was extremely powerful. Lin Xian laughed. "Wu Dao, you came at the right time. Let's take him down together." Chapter 46-42. Are you looking down on us? The evil spirit gnashed its teeth, an unsightly expression on its face. Each and every one of them was a top genius qualified to enter the Violet Palace Hall. But now, the 2 of them were trying to fight the 3 of them. Were they looking down on them? The 3 of them took a step forward, causing the 9 heavens and 10 lands to tremble. Lin Xian and Leaf Dowdenier were like 2 gods of war, completely fearless. It was at this point that a sigh rang out. Another glamorous figure approached them. It was Wind Phoenix. She came to Leaf Dowdenier's side. Although Lin Xian hadn't given her any face last time, Leaf Dowdenier was still an honored guest of hers. Now that Leaf Dowdenier had made a move, she couldn't just sit back and watch. The 6 of them faced off against each other. their terrifying auras suppressing the 9 heavens. Roar! Suddenly, the sky shattered and a boundless aura pressed down. Everyone felt like their bodies were about to be torn apart. A furious roar rang out like a million claps of thunder as a man clad in armor stepped out, radiating the power of the great Tao. He walked over like a supreme emperor. He attacked the great sages in front of him. A great sage had arrived, and this person's strength was too terrifying. Who was he? Countless sects were shocked. They couldn't even tell which faction he belonged to. Whiz! A huge battle broke out in the sky. The mysterious man struck out with his palm, causing 10,000 rays of light to form a heavenly blade that swept out in all directions. Fall back! Lin Xian and the others narrowed their eyes. Although the other party wasn't targeting them, just the aura they emitted was enough to threaten their lives. This great sage was too terrifying. Gradually, the great sages stopped fighting each other and charged toward the ground. They tore the earth apart. The void shattered, and the earth split apart. The terrifying scene left everyone dumbstruck. What were these great sages doing? A moment later, they saw the attacks of the great sages being repelled. There was something beneath the ground. Everyone's eyes lit up. Even Lin Xian's eyes shone with a terrifying light as he looked over. Then he sucked in a cold breath. What a terrifying formation! The ancient heavenly court did indeed retain some mysterious space. There must be an inheritance left behind by the ancient heavenly court under this formation. The eyes of countless people turned red, and they could only watch from afar. The great sages in front of them also took a deep breath and attacked aggressively. After a series of terrifying attacks, the great sages frowned. They realized that the array formation below them was too powerful. With their strength alone, they were unable to break it. From the looks of it, it was impossible to use brute force. The only way to enter was to break the formation. Unwilling to give up, the light folk great sage transformed into a beam of light that shot toward Yangqi. The other great sages joined forces and prepared to try again. At this rate, the formation would break apart sooner or later. The surrounding sages clenched their fists tightly. It was useless. Even if they fought for 100 years, they still wouldn't be able to open it. At this moment, a calm voice rang out. Hearing this, everyone turned to look. Who was it? Was he doubting the strength of the great sage? Lin Xian was also surprised and turned to look. The next moment, he was stunned. Hearing this, Jin Wuhao sneered. How foolish! The strength of a great sage was not something you could imagine. Yu Xie and the rest frowned as well. They saw a black-robed man walking over. The black aura around him was even stranger than the people of Yuyun's sect. They couldn't tell who he was. Lin Xian was stunned. This aura was too familiar. Wasn't this He Shan? He was here. No matter how old you are, you still like to play tricks. Lin Xian laughed. Yu Wudao was surprised. You know him? Lin Xian nodded. Old friend. He Shan turned his head. Kid, you've grown faster than I thought. You've come to Taiching Ancient City so quickly. Don't leave for a while. I'll give you a big gift when the time comes. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. For He Shan to call it a big gift, it must be extraordinary. Could it be related to the ancient heavenly court? He Shan did not say anything. He smiled mysteriously and looked at Jin Wuhao. Don't judge this with your eyes. The great sages, are nothing more than this. They can't break this array. Indeed, half a day had passed. Hundreds of worlds had been destroyed, but the formation was still safe and sound. The faces of Jin Wuhao and the others turned ugly. What kind of formation was this? It was too terrifying. Lin Xian was also surprised. He asked, He Shan, do you have a way? He Shan laughed. I naturally have a way. Unless those great sages come and beg me, I might be able to help them. They're really overestimating themselves. Jinwoo Hao laughed coldly. Who do you think you are? I haven't eaten golden crow meat in a long time. Kid, kill 2 golden crows for me to try. Heishan looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, don't worry, I miss the taste of golden crow meat too. You're courting death. Jinwoo Hao roared and charged over. Lin Xian sent out a palm strike, sending him flying backward. But at this time, 2 figures flashed past and charged at Lin Xian. Lin Xian jumped in fright and hurriedly used Void Escape to dodge. Then 2 golden crows appeared. They were 2 experts of the older generation. Their eyes were filled with killing intent. How dare you be disrespectful to the Golden Crow tribe? You're courting death. The 2 elders charged at Lin Xian. How dare you? Yi Wudao roared and wanted to attack. However, the evil spirits blocked him. Don't meddle in other people's affairs. Heishan looked at this scene and smiled. Do you want me to help you? Lin Xian said, it's fine. I don't care about these 2 old things. Didn't you want to eat golden crow meat? I'll let you have a taste today. After saying that, he clapped his hands. A few black figures flew out from the beast domain. Then, a terrifying roar shook the heavens and the earth. The ice fire swan rushed out and used the law of ice. The black water mystical snake charged out with the power of the Black Sea. It charged at the 2 elders. At the same time, a dozen more beasts flew out. Lin Xian looked at Jinwoo Hao and the other 2. Don't you like to bully others with numbers? Today, I'll let you know what it's like to be attacked by a group. He waved his hand, and the dozen beasts all charged out. Damn it! Jinwoo Hao roared and tried to use his bloodline to increase the pressure. But it was useless. The beasts were all under control and were not afraid at all. They charged over crazily and exploded in an instant. The surrounding people were stunned. Where did so many beasts come from? Even Feng Huang was stunned. Lin Xian had such a trick up his sleeve. Yi Wudao sneered. These people deserved it. Heishan was shocked. This kid can control so many beasts? Is he a beast tamer? With his experience, he naturally understood in an instant. Chapter 46-43. Golden Crow How Evil Spirit and Jiangchen roared. Although they were elites, these beasts were not afraid of death. Some of them even burned their bloodline and laws to fight them. How could they be a match for them? They did not want to waste their lives. Hence, they quickly retreated. Their faces were pale. No way. 3 top geniuses were actually beaten back by a single person. The surrounding people were stunned. Golden Crow How gritted his teeth, and his face darkened. That damned brat, borrowing the power of beasts was nothing. Lin Xian sneered. The 3 of you ganged up on me just now. What was that? Why, do you want to fight me one-on-one? I'll fight you with one hand. Golden Crow How did not dare to speak. He was no match for Lin Xian. He gritted his teeth, hoping that the 2 elders could kill these beasts. However, the elders were not in good condition either. The ice fire swan had mastered the laws of ice and fire. The black water mystical snake was a rare beast with terrifying strength. In the end, one of the elders was sent flying while spitting out blood. The other elder's body was torn into pieces. His body wanted to heal, but Black Mountain waved his hand, and a black aura formed a large net that sealed half of his body. Great, I'll eat golden crow meat later. The elder was so angry that he vomited blood. He quickly escaped, and his body reformed in another place. His face was extremely pale. They glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian sneered. As an elder, you can't even defeat a young man like me. How dare you stay here? The Golden Crow elder gritted his teeth, but there was nothing they could do with the powerful beasts guarding Lin Xian. Golden Crow How Evil Spirit and Jiang Chen's faces were cold. The fact that the 3 of them could not defeat Lin Xian made them feel ashamed. Lin Xian looked at Black Mountain and asked, "Can't you break it?" Black Mountain shook his head. Now was not the time. They could not break it with their strength alone. They could only break it with a formation. All right, since that was the case, Lin Xian did not plan to stay here any longer. He prepared to leave. Hui Yuan walked up and said, "Young master, please follow me back to Pill Cauldron sect. I will definitely repay young master." Lin Xian said, "With Jiang Chen's attitude towards me, is there a need for me to go back?" Hui Yuan gritted his teeth. He was him, and they were them. "You saved me. My grandfather is a core elder. If you go to Pill Cauldron School, you won't be in any danger. I can swear on my life." Lin Xian nodded. "All right, I'd like to see it for myself." After bidding farewell to Heishan, Yi Wudao, Lu Yun, and the others, Lin Xian and Hui Yuan set off for Pill Cauldron School. Pill Cauldron School was a top-notch school. More importantly, most of its members were alchemists, and some of them were extremely powerful. After returning to the Pill Cauldron School, many people were surprised. They didn't expect Hui Yuan to bring a guest. They were puzzled. Who was this person? Was he worthy of their attention? Hui Yuan said that he was my savior. He brought Lin Xian to his residence and said, "Lin Gongzi, you rest first. If you need anything, just let me know." Lin Xian nodded. He set up an array formation and started to rest. He recovered some of his strength and adjusted his condition to its peak. Then he took out a pill bottle. It was the pill bottle that Hui Yuan had given him. The pill bottle was very old. When he opened it, a pill fell out. It was only half of the pill, and it was already petrified. He wondered if it could still be used. Lin Xian frowned. He used his strength, but the pill didn't break. He was surprised. With his strength, even an ordinary sacred artifact would be shattered. But the pill didn't break. That really shocked him. Could this thing be used? He was very doubtful. He kept it. Then he took out the 3 broken swords. Previously, he had sealed it and brought it back with him. Lin Xian felt that it was a powerful weapon that could be used when necessary. Lin Xian used his Tianji God Eyes to imprint a soul imprint on them. Then he kept them again. The next day, Hui Yuan came again. This time, he took out a storage ring and said, "Thank you for saving my life, Master. Here are some pills that I have collected. There are pills for healing, recovery, increasing strength, and even soul strengthening. Master, if you need anything else, just let me know." Lin Xian took it and found that there were thousands of bottles of pills. He was really surprised. He said, "That's enough. By the way, there are some things that I hope you can help me find out." "Master, please tell me when you need it." Lin Xian said, "I want to find a spiritual medicine or pill that can prolong one's life. Do you know?" Hui Yuan was surprised. Then he said, "There are such spiritual medicines, but they are very precious. Our Pill Cauldron sect has a lot of information about spiritual medicines." "I'll do it right away." "Okay." Lin Xian stayed here temporarily. About 5 days later, Hui Yuan came again. This time he brought a woman with him. He said, "Lin Gongzi, let me introduce you. This is my sister." The woman was wearing a red robe, and the flame aura on her body was extremely cold. The woman said, "My name is Dan Feng. I have something to talk to you about." At this moment, the flame said, "She's my sister. Although we're not related by blood, she grew up in our Pill Cauldron sect. She was raised by my grandfather, so we have a good relationship. She probably won't harm you. More importantly, Dan Feng was a top genius. Her strength and talent in alchemy were not inferior to Jiang Chen's at all." Lin Xian was surprised to hear that. Pill Cauldron sect was hiding such a genius. He nodded slightly to show that he understood. Hui Yuan smiled and said, "Dan Feng, sister, you guys talk. I'll go out first." He turned and left. Lin Xian invited Dan Feng in and asked, "Fairy Dan Feng, why are you looking for me?" Dan Feng said, "I'll get straight to the point. I heard that you got a pill from Hui Yuan. You got it from the ruins of the Heavenly Court?" Lin Xian said, "That's right. I saved his life, and he gave me the pill. Does Fairy Dan Fong want to take it back now? Dan Fong smiled. How can I take it back? I just want to ask you if the pill has been petrified and can't be absorbed. Lin Xian was surprised. How did you know? On second thought, it might be Hui Yuan who told her. After all, Hui Yuan got it first. Actually, he didn't know that Hui Yuan didn't even have the chance to examine it. He gave it to Lin Xian directly. Opposite him, Hui Yuan's eyes flickered. I think you don't know how to absorb it. You even think it's a useless pill. Lin Xian said, That's right. Do you have a way? Dan Fong said, If you trust me, I can try. If I succeed, the two of us have to absorb the power of the pill together. Do you agree? Lin Xian thought for a while and said, Sure. Although he knew alchemy, he couldn't do anything about the petrified pill. As for this Dan Fong, she should be a top-notch alchemist. Thinking about it, perhaps she should use special methods. Chapter 46-44. All right, there's no time to lose. Let's get started. Dan Fong took it back and took out a furnace. There were 4 fire phoenixes circling around the furnace. It was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian was surprised. Then he took out the petrified pill. The fire phoenix said, Give me some time, and I'll stay here for the time being. Then she began to use her own method to crack the petrified pill. Lin Xian began to study the tortoiseshell when he had nothing to do. There were many runes of the great Tao recorded on the tortoiseshell. It was extremely mysterious and needed to be comprehended and experienced. Lin Xian had been studying it for the past few days. He felt as if he had entered a magical world. Then he took a deep breath. It was incredible. Under his heavenly secret divine eye, he discovered that all the runes on the tortoiseshell were intertwined and finally formed an ancient character. Heavens! The Tao on it was so faint that it was almost invisible. It was obvious that after 50,000 years, it had almost disappeared. However, it still remained. Moreover, ordinary people couldn't detect it at all. If Lin Xian didn't have the heavenly secret divine eye, he probably wouldn't have been able to detect it. He had to use the power of reincarnation to detect it. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. The power of reincarnation was related to the heavenly court? Then he seemed to have thought of something and took out the 3 sealed broken swords again. He used the power of reincarnation of the heavenly secret eye to observe carefully. He discovered that there was indeed a great Tao on it. However, it wasn't complete. Could it be? Lin Xian said to Dan Fong, then left Pill Cauldron Sect and went to the ruins of the ancient heavenly court again. He suppressed the remaining 4 swords and brought them back. The 7 swords were connected together. Lin Xian finally discovered that the great Tao on it also formed an ancient character. This was the heavenly court's Tao. Lin Xian was too shocked. He searched again, but found that it was only on a few weapon fragments, apart from the 7 broken swords and the tortoiseshell. He didn't find a third one. These 7 broken swords and tortoiseshell must have been extraordinary back in the day. Lin Xian returned to the Pill Cauldron Sect and continued to meditate. Although there were only 2 ancient characters, the Tao contained within them shocked Lin Xian. Lin Xian decided to comprehend the heavenly court's Tao. Outside, in Grand Clarity Ancient City, news was flying everywhere. There was news about the ancient heavenly court every day, but none of it was good news. None of the great sages could do anything about it, so they had no choice but to go back and think of a way to deal with it. Countless people were madly searching and fighting in the ruins. However, because the great sages had joined forces many times, the ultimate spell formation was activated and swept through everything. Many people were instantly killed, their bodies and souls destroyed. As a result, the ruins of the ancient heavenly court became even more dangerous than before. Those weapon fragments also seemed to have received a boost of power and became even more terrifying. None of this had anything to do with Lin Xian. Lin Xian had been meditating for the past 2 months. On the other side, the Red Phoenix I was trying her best to crack the petrify pill. Finally, she succeeded. She said, Lin Gongzi, it's done. Lin Xian put away the broken swords and tortoiseshell, then walked out. As expected, there were countless cracks on the petrified pill. Then power surged out. He and the Red Phoenix sat down cross-legged and began to absorb the half of the pill. This could increase soul power. Lin Xian was overjoyed. Once his soul became stronger, his heavenly secret divine, I would also become stronger. Using the heavenly secret divine, to cast the power of reincarnation would allow him to comprehend the heavenly court's Tao faster. On the other side, the Red Phoenix was also overjoyed. She also needed powerful soul power to refine pills, so the two of them absorbed with all their might. After about 10 days, a terrifying soul storm surged out from the two of them. It swept out in all directions. At this moment, countless people were in an uproar. Those from the Pill Cauldron sect were shocked. What a terrifying soul power. Was someone about to break through? They all turned to look. On the other side, Jiang Chen also sensed this soul power. It was too terrifying. Who among the younger generation had such a soul? Was it the Red Phoenix? His figure flashed, and he quickly walked over. Soon, he arrived in front of the mansion. This was Hui Yuan's mansion. He was not surprised that the Red Phoenix was here. After all, the Red Phoenix was Hui Yuan's sister. When he looked down with his soul, he frowned. He found that the Red Phoenix was not alone. There was another person sitting beside her, and it was not Hui Yuan. Who was it? A cold, murderous intent appeared in his eyes. The Red Phoenix was the top genius of the Pill Cauldron sect. Moreover, she was extremely beautiful. He had long regarded her as his. He would never allow anyone else to sit beside the Red Phoenix. With the protection of the array, he could not see the other party's face clearly. He immediately snorted coldly. Jiang Chen waited outside. He did not believe that the other party would not come out. Standing in the void, Jiang Chen emitted a cold, murderous intent that swept through the 9 heavens. The surrounding disciples who had rushed over were also extremely frightened. They all retreated. The soul storm in front of them lasted for a long time before it slowly disappeared. The Red Phoenix and Lin Xian both opened their eyes. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. The Red Phoenix was also happy. This time, her strength had increased a lot, especially her soul power. Lin Xian was the same. He felt that the heavenly secret divine eyes had become stronger than before. He had broken through the 14th heavenly secret map. He thought that he could condense more reincarnation power. It was really an unexpected joy. However, in the next moment, when he felt the terrifying murderous intent outside, he frowned. The Red Phoenix was the same. She snorted coldly and walked out. Looking at the figure in front of her, she frowned and said, Jiang Chen, are you releasing your murderous intent towards me? Why, do you want to fight with me? I don't mind fighting with you. Compete in martial arts or alchemy. The surrounding people exclaimed when they saw it. It was indeed the Red Phoenix. Her strength had become stronger than before. Jiang Chen's face darkened. Hearing the discussions around him, he snorted coldly. Those who want to die can stay here. Those who don't want to die, scram. The terrifying, murderous intent swept in all directions. The surrounding people retreated in fear. Soon, other than Lin Xian and the other two, there was no one else here. Jiang Chen landed. He looked at the Red Phoenix and said, I'm not targeting you. Why would I attack you? After saying that, he looked at Lin Xian again. An extremely cold, murderous intent appeared in his eyes. Kid, who asked you to come here? This is the Pill Cauldron sect. Previously, the 3 of them had failed to take down Lin Xian, causing him to lose face. Now that he saw Lin Xian again, He was naturally filled with murderous intent. The Red Phoenix snorted coldly. Why can't he be here? Lin Gongzi is my guest. Do you have a problem with that? How dare you speak up for him? Jiang Chen was completely enraged. He really couldn't stand it. Kid, stand out if you're a man. Do you think you can survive with the Red Phoenix protecting you? Lin Xian also laughed. Why? Do you want to attack me? Previously, the three of you couldn't defeat me. Now, you're alone. Are you sure you dare to attack me? Chapter 46-45. Last time I didn't use all my strength and trump cards. Otherwise, do you think you could have survived? Jiang Chen said coldly. Now hand over what you got obediently. Dan Feng said, This is my place. Aren't you being too presumptuous? Jiang Chen, if you continue like this, I'll kick you out. Jiang Chen roared. How can you treat me like this? Don't you understand my feelings for you? Also, this kid got what was left behind by the ancient heavenly court. Don't you want it? Everyone has their own fortuitous encounters. Since young Master Lin obtained the treasure, then it belongs to him. Naturally, I won't interfere. As for your feelings, I don't understand, and I don't want to understand. Hurry up and leave. I don't welcome you. Jiang Chen was about to go crazy. A terrifying flame burst out from his eyes as he charged towards Lin Xian. This was the soul fire, together with the overflowing divine fire. It was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The heaven's secret map in his eyes bloomed. Similarly, a soul sword flew out and blasted forward. An earth-shattering sound rang out. Jiang Chen felt a piercing pain in his eyes. He retreated, and his expression turned even uglier. Damn it. The other party's soul power was so strong, too. Not weaker than him? Damn it. He roared, and the heavenly fire burned. He was going to go all out and kill this kid. At this moment, Dan Feng stepped out. The power of fire wind spread out from her body as she shouted, Are you really going to attack? Don't blame me for being impolite. All right, just you wait. Jiang Chen roared and turned to leave. Seeing the other party's figure disappear, Dan Feng sighed. Because of me, you offended him. I'm sorry, Lin Xian said. It's fine. Even if it wasn't for you, I still had some conflicts with him. Previously, we fought in the heavenly court ruins. So, you don't have to feel guilty. Dan Feng said, I didn't expect your soul power to be so strong. Also, it seems like you've cultivated a special eye technique. Lin Xian nodded and smiled. You should be a top-grade pill, right? Why don't we exchange pointers in Pill Dao? You know how to refine pills too. Dan Feng was even more surprised. Lin Xian said, I know a little, but I can't compare to a genius of alchemy like you. All right, let's spar then. Dan Feng's interest was piqued. The two people started sparring in the following time. During this time, Hui Yuan also came. Seeing that the two of them were so focused, he quickly left. He even ordered that no one should disturb him. Truth be told, when he had met Dan Feng before, she had always had an ice-cold appearance. Even toward him, her younger brother, it was the same. It had been a long time since he had seen her smile. Now that she was with Lin Xian, she actually smiled every day. It was really surprising. It seemed that this Lin Gongzi was very likely to become his brother-in-law. Thinking of this, he sighed. This was because Jiang Chen and Dan Feng were known to all. Now that Lin Xian had arrived, it was likely that another storm would be stirred up. Lin Xian's place was quiet, but there were undercurrents surging outside. This was especially true for the ruins of the ancient heavenly court. They were extremely nervous. The great sage's eyes were bloodshot. They mobilized all their forces to study the array formation. In fact, some great sages personally came and stayed for a month or two without leaving. On this day, the array formation sent out a message inviting all the geniuses in the world. It seemed that the Purple Mansion was about to be fully opened. Countless people were in an uproar. Previously, the news of the Purple Mansion opening had already spread. However, at that time, only Lin Xian and a few other top prodigies entered. The others were not qualified to enter. Now that all the geniuses in the world were invited, everyone was shocked. Countless people gathered again. They all set off for the Purple Mansion. On Pill Cauldron Sec's side, Jiang Chen received the news and quickly took action. He once again arrived outside Lin Xian's residence and spoke. Guofeng walked out and said, "Are you going to make a move again?" Jiang Chen glanced at Lin Xian. He snorted coldly. "I'll give you face and not make a move for the time being. I'm here today because of an important matter. The Purple Mansion has been reactivated, and it's going to be opened in the next few days. Let's make a move too. Is it opening again?" Lin Xian was also surprised. He frowned. He now knew that the totem of the Purple Mansion was the red spider lily. Moreover, there was a mysterious expert who attacked it. It was very likely that he was from the Purple Mansion. Lin Xian was wondering if he should go and take a look. Then he sneered and went to see what the Purple Mansion was up to. Dan Feng was also surprised. She had long heard of the Purple Mansion. She didn't have the chance last time, so she definitely wouldn't miss it this time. She looked at Lin Xian and smiled. "Lin Gongzi, let's go together." Lin Xian nodded and said, "Okay." Seeing the two of them talking and laughing, Jiang Chen, who was in front, was about to vomit blood. Damn it! What's so good about this kid that he can stay by Dan Feng's side? The Purple Mansion was incomparably mysterious. The scenery inside was magnificent, and the spiritual energy of heaven and earth gathered in one place. It was like a paradise on earth. At this moment, the Purple Mansion was extremely lively. Many people entered one after another. Of course, those who entered were all top geniuses and experts. The women in the Purple Mansion were like fairies, and the men were either like immortals. They were like unparalleled emperors with supreme auras that made everyone look up to them. There weren't many people in the Purple Mansion, but every one of them was a top expert and expert. It was really shocking. It was no wonder that they could surpass the clan of the ancients 70,000 years ago. This place truly made people linger on and forget to return. Yun Fei arrived, bringing with him a natural and unrestrained manner, as if he was an immortal. A woman in a silver robe walked up. There was a crescent moon on her forehead, and she had a mysterious aura. She was called Yufian. She was one of the successors of the Purple Mansion Celestial Mountain, and this time she seemed to be the host. At this moment, Yufian walked up and smiled. "Young Master Yunfei, long time no see. Please come in." Yunfei also smiled. Yu Xianzi was more beautiful than before, and her aura was also stronger than before. As expected of a successor of the Purple Mansion, he walked in with a smile. Not long after, another person came. He had a holy aura, like an angel. He was Sheng Tiansu. When he came, he was respectfully invited in. Not long after, the sky was filled with golden light, as if a sun had descended. Golden Crow How also came, with arrogance and arrogance. The people around felt their scalps tingle. The divine island in the sky descended, and a woman walked out of the wind. Next to her was a purple figure, like an unparalleled divine king. The arrival of the two made people look up to them. It was the princess of the Feng clan, Feng Huang. That person should be the successor of the Yi clan, a clan of the ancients. Yes, he was Yi Wudao, the legendary sacred body of the ancients. Yufian smiled. "Sister Phoenix, long time no see. Young Master Yi, please come in." Yi Wudao nodded and walked forward. However, at this moment, they turned around and looked at the void. Chapter 46:46. The void split open, and a figure appeared out of thin air. The surrounding people exclaimed in shock. That person was so fast. It was Guang Ming from the Light Clan. Guang Ming had arrived. He arrived with extreme speed and stared at Yi Wudao. It seemed like the fairies of the Purple Mansion were inferior to Yi Wudao. Yi Wudao's eyes also shone with a cold light. The heavenly emperor scripture was circulating in his body. Between them, the great Tao intertwined, and the 9 heavens split open. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were shocked. Was there going to be another battle between the two of them? Previously, the two of them had fought once, but they were evenly matched. Neither of them could do anything to the other. Yu Fian walked over with a smile. The two of them were top figures. If they wanted to fight, there would be plenty of chances later. Now, please go in first. Her voice was very pleasant to the ears, like the voice of the 9 heavens. It seemed to be able to calm one's soul. The surrounding atmosphere became more relaxed. Yi Wudao retracted his gaze and said. Guang Ming also smiled. I naturally have to give face to the fairy. Next evil spirit also arrived. There were also some disciples from the great sects and even the ancient families. It could be said that this was a grand event. The Purple Mansion had even sent out disciples to properly entertain these people. Other than Yu Fian, the disciples of the other immortal mountains also came out. Each and every one of them was a peerless figure. They were like the 9 heavens maidens that everyone looked up to. Those people were all stunned. Evil Spirit, Sheng Tiance, and the others took a deep breath and clenched their fists. Phoenix also turned her head, but she was stunned. She only saw the beautiful fairies, but she did not see the person who was like a supreme emperor. She was a bit disappointed. She did not know where that person went. Among the fairies, Qin Sienna was also there. At this moment, her aura and cultivation were much stronger than when she had just arrived at the buried Emperor's star. It was shocking that she could even reach Hui Yuan's level. One had to know that Qin Sienna had just joined the Purple Mansion, and her strength had increased so much. The Purple Mansion was incomparably mysterious. Of course, she was from the 9-tailed fox clan and had a very powerful bloodline. At this moment, the corner of her mouth rose. Her smile shocked heaven and earth. Jin Wu Hao's eyes shone as he walked over. How should I address this fairy? He could sense that the other party also had a very powerful bloodline in him. Qin Sienna. What a good name. Would Fairy Qin accompany me for a drink? Golden Crow, Hao invited with a smile. In his opinion, the other party would definitely not refuse. This was because his strength and talent were both top-notch. Unfortunately, he guessed wrong this time. Sienna smiled and shook her head. Even if he rejected her, it didn't seem to make her angry. The surrounding people were stunned. They were shocked. This was the first time someone had dared to reject Jin Wu Hao. Jin Wu Hao was also taken aback. A piercingly cold light flashed in his eyes. After thinking for a moment, he said with a smile, It seems that Fairy Qin is still not familiar with me. Don't worry, I'll let you have time to understand me in the future. One day, I think Fairy will be willing to drink wine with me. It was clear from his words that Jin Wu Hao was unwilling to accept this. The surrounding people were also discussing animatedly. Qin Sienna continued to smile and didn't say anything. Her gaze casually scanned the surroundings. Clearly, she was also searching for someone. When she didn't see that figure, she was a little disappointed. However, he secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Even if you work hard for 100 years, he won't agree. At that moment, a cold voice was heard. Countless people were in an uproar as they looked up at the sky. Jin Wu Hao's expression also darkened. Who is it? Is he challenging me? With a cold shout, the surrounding sky collapsed and the earth cracked. At that moment, the void above cracked open. The flames that filled the sky turned into a divine furnace and descended from the sky. Everyone felt a scorching aura that seemed to be able to burn the 9 heavens. It seemed that the people from Pill Cauldron sect had arrived. Everyone was surprised. Could it be that Jiang Chen was challenging Jin Wu Hao? Another 2 top-notch geniuses. It seemed that there would be a good show to watch. However, their expressions soon changed. That was because they realized that Jiang Chen wasn't alone. There were two other extremely terrifying auras that were not weaker than Jiang Chen. Some of them were even stronger. Another expert had arrived. Who was it? This time, even Yi Wudao, Feng Huang, Shengtian Tians, and the others looked over. Jin Wuhao shouted coldly, "Jiang Chen, are you challenging me?" After Jiang Chen landed, he didn't say a word. His face was a little dark. At that moment, someone next to him spoke. "It's not him, it's me. Are you unhappy? It's you?" Jin Wuhao finally saw clearly that it was Lin Xian. His eyes instantly turned red. "Despicable brat. How dare you come again?" Jiang Chen had previously injured an elder of the Golden Crow tribe. He had even taken half of that elder's body and barbecued it. How could he tolerate that? He roared and wanted to attack. The Golden Crow flames that filled the sky quickly burned and condensed into a sun that charged over. It was so terrifying. It seemed that he was going to kill him as soon as he attacked. Had the hatred between the two sides reached such a level? Before Lin Xian could attack, Dan Feng waved her hand, and a fire phoenix flew out and swept through the sky. It blocked the sun. In the next moment, she shouted coldly, "Were all the Golden Crows so arrogant?" It was a woman who had blocked Jin Wuhao's attack. Who was she? Countless people were in an uproar. At that moment, the eyes of Light Yunfei and the other top-notch experts burst out with piercing cold light and froze in place. Jin Wuhao was even more shocked. He looked forward. "Who are you? When did the Pill Cauldron Gate have a top-notch genius? My name is Dan Feng. I heard that your Golden Crow flames are very powerful. I would like to experience it." A terrifying fire phoenix surrounded Dan Feng's body. The others were surprised. Sheng Tiansu asked directly, "Jiang Chen, is this a genius of the Pill Cauldron Gate?" Jiang Chen nodded. "That's right. Dan Feng is also a member of the Pill Cauldron Gate." As soon as he said that, countless people exclaimed. Some were extremely shocked. Two top-notch geniuses had appeared in the Pill Cauldron Gate. It was unbelievable. Even some of the peerless sects felt immense pressure. Even the clan of the ancients were discussing animatedly. "She is Dan Feng." Feng Huang whispered. Obviously, she had heard of this name before. The corners of Light's mouth curled up into a smile. It was getting more and more interesting. Jin Wuhao's eyes were also shining. It seemed that there were quite a few geniuses today. Dan Feng was also a peerless beauty. The corners of his mouth curled up. It was easy for a fairy to spar with fire. "After this gathering, why don't you come back with me? We can have a good spar." Dan Feng's face darkened. "You want to invite me? Do you have the right?" She raised her hand and shot out another fire phoenix. Terrifying flames covered the sky and earth. Jin Wuhao wanted to deal with it calmly, but after 3 moves, he was shocked. His opponent's strength was not inferior to his at all. If he was careless, he might even be at a disadvantage. How could he embarrass himself in front of a woman? He would not allow it. Chapter 46-47. With a furious roar, he turned into a golden crow phantom and rushed over. Heaven and earth trembled. On the other side, the red phoenix formed a seal with both hands, forming a fiery wind seal that slammed forward. The two collided, and a deafening sound spread in all directions. Inside the Zifu, there was a mysterious formation that blocked all kinds of energy. Otherwise, some people would have been swept away by this energy and turned into a bloody mist. After the collision, the two of them retreated. The fire phoenix snorted. "What? Do you still think you're qualified to invite me?" Golden Crowhouse's face was pale, and his hands were turning black. It was burned by the other party's flames. Damn it, the other party's fire phoenix was too terrifying. He didn't attack again. Lin Xian sneered when he saw this. "You have the right to be arrogant. Do you really think you can dominate the world? I'm afraid you can't beat anyone here. Damn it, you're courting death. Golden Crow How roared. He was about to go crazy. Lin Xian sneered. Are you sure you want to fight me? Do you believe that I can suppress you with one hand? His body emitted a biting, cold, killing intent. Golden Crow How gritted his teeth. Kid, you'll definitely die if you challenge the Golden Crow clan. After saying a few words, he walked back and didn't attack again. The surrounding people were stunned. Who was that person? Some people discussed. Someone said, I know him. He entered the Purple Mansion with Golden Crow How. And the others. He's very terrifying. I heard that he's a rogue cultivator. The surrounding people were stunned. Why was that guy with the people from the Pill Cauldron sect? Even the evil spirit furrowed its brows at this sight. A few months ago, he and Jiang Chun had joined forces to fight against the other party. Now, the other party was with Jiang Chun. What's going on? He asked Jiang Chun through voice transmission. Jiang Chun's face darkened, and he didn't respond. Lin Xian didn't care about the difference in the crowd. He greeted Yu Wudao and walked over to Qin Xianer to talk. Qin Xianer smiled when she heard that. Was this guy so familiar with the fairies of the Purple Mansion? The surrounding people were even more shocked. When Jin Wuhao saw this scene, he clenched his teeth, so hard they almost shattered. He went up, but was rejected. Yet the other party was still able to talk cheerfully. Was the gap between him and the other party really that big? He didn't believe it. At this time, Yu Fian walked out to smooth things over, and the atmosphere eased up again. At the same time, she said that she had asked everyone to come this time because the Purple Mansion had reopened. She gently waved her hand, and the maids served up exquisite dishes and spirit wine. The banquet began. Not long after, someone said, We're all martial saints. It's boring to just drink and chat. Why don't we spar? Many people were astonished, and some of their eyes flickered. At this time, experts from all over the world had gathered. Victory here could make one's name known throughout the world. This was a very good opportunity to gain fame. Yu Fian said with a smile, Our Violet Palace has just opened. Today is not a good day to fight. I have another idea. I wonder if everyone is willing. What thoughts? Yunfei smiled as he waved his fan. Fairy F.A., please speak your mind. Recently, our Violet Mansion sect has been researching a mysterious formation. We would like to invite all the geniuses to see who can break the formation. If you can break the formation, then my Purple Mansion sect will give you a martial art of the ancient saints. A martial art of the ancient saints. Many people were astonished. They knew that the Violet Mansion sect was all-encompassing. It could be said that they had collected countless martial arts, but now the other party had taken out such a condition. What was so magical about that array formation? Some people couldn't wait. Yu Fian, where is the formation? Many people stood up. They all wanted to obtain a martial art of the ancient saints. How could something from the Violet Mansion sect be weak? It might even be from tens of thousands of years ago. Lin Xian was also astonished. He didn't know what the Violet Mansion sect was doing. Yu Fian smiled. It seems that everyone is interested. All right, everyone please follow me. She stood up and led everyone out of the hall, flying into the distance. Everyone followed. There was a valley in front of them. The spiritual energy inside was extraordinary. Yu Fian landed in the valley, and everyone followed. They discovered that there was indeed the aura of a formation flickering in front of them. Furthermore, there was already a figure waiting there. It was a man surrounded by demons and gods. He looked like a peerless emperor. Everyone couldn't help but tremble when they looked at him. Who is this person? Is he someone from the Violet Mansion sect? He's so terrifying. Yunfei, Guang, and the others' eyes lit up. The other party's strength was very strong. He was a peerless enemy. Feng Huang's body swayed, and shock appeared in her eyes. It's him. She didn't expect that the person she wanted to meet would be here. Yi Wudao frowned. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Why is this guy here? Could it be that he also joined the Violet Mansion sect? He looked at Qin Xianer and asked in a low voice. Qin Xianer said, "You know him?" Yao Guang, I didn't say anything wrong, right? Qin Xianer nodded. That's right. He's Yao Guang, the successor of one of the 9 immortal mountains. He joined the Violet Mansion sect even earlier than me. The Yao Guang Holy Sun was an incredible figure in the true spirit world. He was extremely mysterious. He was very strong, but no one knew what level he had reached. They only knew that he was at the peak. Later, Lin Xian and the others entered the ancient starry sky path, and this Yao Guang seemed to have stayed in the true spirit world. When Lin Xian returned to the true spirit world from the ancient starry sky path, the Yao Guang Holy Sun still hadn't fallen to a disadvantage. Later, Lin Xian and the others came to the buried Emperor's star. Yao Guang had also come and joined the Violet Mansion sect. It was truly shocking. Lin Xian looked at Yi Wudao. He saw that Yi Wudao was also frowning. Yao Guang's eyes flickered. He swept his gaze over everyone and naturally saw Lin Xian and Yi Wudao. He didn't seem surprised at all. It seemed that he had long since known of Lin Xian and Yi Wudao's existence. Yao Guang walked forward and smiled. Everyone, this is the formation our Violet Mansion sect set up. I wonder if anyone can break it. Everyone was curious. Was this formation an offensive one or an illusion one? Someone asked, That's right. Why don't you tell us what this formation is called? Yao Guang said that this formation is called the Nameless Formation. As for its effects and power, everyone will personally experience it after going up. Everyone was in an uproar. This was no different from not saying anything. They became even more curious. Let me try it. Someone walked up. It was a large man with a powerful physique. He held a battle axe on his back. He was like a god of war as he charged forward. The entire mountain valley shook violently. He leapt forward, turning into a bolt of lightning as he charged into the formation. He grabbed the battle axe on his back. The battle axe fell with a heaven-rending power. Boom! The formation flickered. Countless dazzling Dao runes smashed into the battle axe. The battle axe split apart, and the large man was sent flying. There was a bloody hole in his shoulder, and his arms had been completely crippled. Roar! He roared at the sky and rapidly retreated. Laws intertwined around his body, healing his wounds. At the same time, he was terrified. Not only had he been heavily injured, but his weapon had also shattered. The others were shocked. How powerful was this? This large man was a mid-sacred king and could be considered an expert, but he hadn't even been able to block a single attack. The formation's power had surpassed their expectations. It seemed that this ancient sage's martial technique wasn't so easy to obtain. Chapter 46-48. Stupid thing, you can't break a formation with brute force. Don't you know that? A cold laugh rang out. The tower-like man roared. Who was it? His eyes were filled with terrifying killing intent. The figure behind him sneered. Facing the terrifying gaze, he wasn't afraid at all. Instead, he waved the token in his hand. The tower-like man's face turned ugly. He gritted his teeth and left. The one who spoke was someone from the ghost sect. They were a peerless sect that he didn't dare to provoke. Because of the previous injury, he had lost face. He could only leave quickly. Of course, he didn't leave completely. Instead, he stood in a remote corner and watched. He wanted to see who could break such a terrifying formation. The others were also discussing. A few more people went up to try, but none of them succeeded. Whether it was using brute force, attacking, or using a formation to break the formation, they all failed. However, they lasted longer than the tower-like man. Could it be that no one succeeded? Many people were discussing. They now knew how terrifying the obscurity formation was. The people from the Purple Mansion were also nervous. Some of them were already sighing. From the looks of it, no one would be able to successfully break this array formation. That might not be the case. Light said coldly, "You still haven't said what the ancient saint's martial art is. Otherwise, I don't think any of the top experts would make a move." That was indeed the case. Although there were more than 10 people going up to try, Light, Shengtianmei, Yi Wudao, and the other top experts didn't make a move. They were all waiting. Yu Fian smiled. "It seems that the Purple Mansion's offer isn't enough. Well, I'll let you know in advance. If you can break this formation, you'll get a divine ability. It's a martial art that was lost 30,000 years ago, the Great Desolate Heaven Hunter's Hand. It was created by the heaven-splitting Great Sage, and its power was boundless. When it was mastered, it could tear apart opponents of the same level with a single move. Later on, after Great Sage Hunting Heaven passed away, his martial arts disappeared." A crisp sound rang out. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. The Great Desolate Heaven Hunter's Hand. It was a lost martial art. As expected of the Purple Mansion, they could even take it out. How did they get it? Exclamations of surprise could be heard. Jiang Chun, Dan Feng, and the others' eyes lit up. Yun Fei, Yu Xie, and the others' eyes were also shining. It seemed like the Purple Mansion sect was really sincere. Even they were tempted by this martial art. Since it's a lost ancient saint martial art, I'll gladly accept it. Jinwu, Hao walked over with large strides. "I've broken your nameless formation." He walked toward the formation like a fiery god of war. Everyone's gaze was focused on him. The Z government's people were also looking forward to it. It seemed that the lost technique they had taken out had already been effective. A top-notch expert had come to break the formation. He wondered if they would succeed. As soon as Jinwu Hao walked into the formation, he could feel a terrifying power. He roared angrily, and the flames on his body soared into the sky. His wings turned into heavenly blades, and at the same time, his palms swept out in all directions. It seemed that he also wanted to use his tyrannical strength to tear apart the formation. The formation sensed the terrifying aura, and a light appeared on it, repelling everything. At the same time, a terrifying power rushed towards Jinwu Hao. How Jinwu roared. The people who were watching from the outside were terrified. The formation was too powerful. Even Jinwu Hao was suppressed to a disadvantage. Lin Xian's eyes flickered, and he frowned. Why does this formation look so familiar? He was a formation master, and when he looked at the formation, he naturally would not look at the surface. He would look at the core content. Therefore, he could naturally see the power of this formation. He seemed to have seen it somewhere before. However, he could not say it out loud. He felt that it was very strange. It seemed like the Z government was indeed mysterious. The formation was definitely set up by a great saint, and there might be more than one great saint. It was impossible to break it with brute force. The sound in front of him shook the heavens. The formation contained a destructive power, but in the end, Jinwu Hao still retreated. His hair was disheveled, and he gritted his teeth. Damn it, what kind of formation is this? He slapped out again, but the result was that he was pushed back, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it, he roared angrily and flew into the sky. He swore that he would break the formation, but in the end, he did not succeed at all. It made him lose face. He was so angry that he wanted to destroy the entire valley. Jinwu Hao's body emitted a terrifying light, and it formed a sun, releasing an unparalleled power. The people in the valley were stunned. What is this guy trying to do? Is he trying to kill all of us? Run. Everyone retreated, and the Z government's people's expression changed. Jinwu Hao was too much. Yao Guang walked out and shouted coldly, "This is not a place where you can be presumptuous. Go to hell." Jinwu Hao roared, and the golden sun descended. This was his full-strength attack. Yao Guang snorted and waved his hands, and a strange seal shot towards the sky. With a crack, the whole world was torn in half. The sun was instantly torn apart, and its power dissipated. Jin Wuhao kept retreating, and his face was pale. Damn it, his ultimate technique was instantly broken by the other party. Yi Wudao's eyes shone brightly. Is this the great desolate heaven-splitting palm? Yao Guang nodded. The others were shocked. Is this the lost secret technique? It's too terrifying. One strike could tear everything apart. Are you going to continue being arrogant? Yao Guang looked at Jin Wuhao. The other people of the Z government also looked at him. Jin Wuhao's scalp went numb. Although he was a top genius, this Yao Guang was not weaker than him, and this was the territory of the Z government. There was definitely a great saint overseeing this place. So he snorted coldly and descended and did not attack again. However, he still wanted to regain his face. Your formation is too terrifying. No one in the Saint King realm can break it. Are you lying to us? Indeed, Jin Wuhao's technique was flawless, and the others' chances of success were not high. Yu Fian walked over and smiled. Crown Prince, please calm down. This formation is indeed strange, and there are very few people who can break it. Even we don't have much hope. However, we still want to try and see if there is really a heaven-defying formation master who can break it. Jin Wuhao's expression eased a lot. Even the Z government only had a trace of hope, and it was not shameful for him to lose. As the others discussed, Jiang Chen looked at Dan Feng and asked, "What do you think?" Dan Feng shook his head. "Do you want to refine pills? We can break this kind of formation. Ordinary formations wouldn't be a problem. But for a top-grade formation like this, we can't break it with brute force, so we're at our wits' end." Jiang Chen sighed. It seemed that they were not fated with the great desolate heaven-splitting palm. In addition, Feng Huang looked at Yi Wudao and asked, "Do you have any ideas?" He was not very confident. Although he had studied array formations before, this array formation was clearly too mysterious. Phoenix also sighed. Their Wind Clan had collected array formations from ancient times until now. They had everything they needed. However, he was also at his wits' end. At this moment, a figure walked out and said, "I'll try." Chapter 46-49. Guangming walked out. He wanted to use his extreme speed to break this array. Among all the supernatural powers in the world, only speed was invincible. Maybe he could really break it with his extreme speed. The people of the Purple Mansion were also looking forward to it. Guangming walked into the array and turned into an aurora. Even Yun Fei and the others couldn't see him clearly. Guangming was extremely fast. He dodged all the attacks, but he found that he still couldn't break it. Although the array couldn't hurt him, he still couldn't break it completely. Damn it, what kind of array was this? Even his bloodline speed couldn't break it? Finally, he retreated, shaking his head and sighing. Everyone was in despair. Even Guangming was defeated. The others had no chance at all. It seemed that they couldn't get the great desolate heaven-splitting hand. That might not be the case. A voice rang out. Everyone turned their heads and looked over. Then they were shocked. It was Lin Xian. Was this kid trying to break the array? Yes, it was Lin Xian. He looked forward, took a deep breath, and walked in. What was this kid doing? He couldn't break it even with his extreme speed? Who did he think he was? Jiang Chen snorted and said, "Lin Gongzi is usually very steady. He won't do anything he isn't sure of. Besides, what right do you have to look down on him? You don't even dare to try." Dan Feng said coldly. Jiang Chen snorted. "I want to see how he's going to break the array." The people of the Purple Mansion were also watching. Yao Guang narrowed his eyes. A mysterious smile appeared on Yufian's face. They all looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian naturally knew that if he did this, the people of the Purple Mansion would target him again. They might even find out his true identity. However, The Purple Mansion was so mysterious and powerful. They even sent experts to attack him last time. Even if he was hiding, he might be discovered. If that was the case, why should he hide? He might as well stand out and break the array. If he was lucky, he might even get the Ancient Saint's unique skill. After walking into the array, Lin Xian could feel the uniqueness of the array. He himself was an expert in array formations, and his strength was extremely powerful. Thus, at this moment, he formed hand seals with his palms, and countless talismans flew out from his fingertips in all directions to break the seal. Lin Xian had learned the heaven-breaking formation before, so he could break most formations. However, that was not the case now. The heaven-crushing formation had lost its effect before the nameless formation. Lin Xian sensed the increasingly terrifying aura and rushed over. It was no wonder that Golden Crow and the others could not withstand it. Even Light was helpless. The power of the array formation was really too strong. He shouted coldly as he waved his hand. Countless great daos intertwined with each other to form a mysterious ancient character. This was the result of his recent comprehension of the Heavenly Quartz Dao. At this moment, he subconsciously used it. The Heavenly Quartz Dao permeated the surroundings. The array formation in front of them was quickly broken, and the surrounding attacks disappeared. Lin Xian was stunned. What's going on? Could the Heavenly Quartz Dao break the array formation? He was really too surprised. That shouldn't be the case. Even though the Heavenly Quartz Dao is incomparably mysterious, it's definitely not specialized in deciphering formations. What was going on? Could it be this array formation? Lin Xian had previously felt that this array formation was very familiar. Now that he thought about it carefully, he suddenly realized, in the ruins of the Heavenly Court, there was a peerless array formation that so many great sages could not break even together. The power of that array formation was shocking. This one was very similar. However, this one was a weakened version, and its power was countless times weaker. He did not recognize it at first. Now that the Heavenly Quartz Dao had displayed its power, he finally remembered that this was definitely similar to the array formation of the ancient Heavenly Court. Lin Xian used the Heavenly Quartz Dao and did not continue to break the array formation. He frowned. It seemed that this array formation was set up by the Purple Mansion Great Sage after studying the Heavenly Quartz array formation. Then he invited the experts of the world to break it and find inspiration to break the Heavenly Quartz array formation. If he could break it at this time, wouldn't he be helping the Purple Mansion? Thinking of this, he wanted to end it. However, on second thought, he was also extremely curious about the Heavenly Court. It was a supreme treasure trove. If he did not make a move this time, it would be impossible for him to break it himself, because the real Heavenly Quartz array formation was thousands of times stronger than this. It needed a great sage to break it. Lin Xian had an idea. It seemed that he had to show some of his strength. He had to let the clan of the ancients and the peerless sects pay attention. Then he could use the power of the clan of the ancients to break the array formation. This way, he would be able to obtain the things in the ancient Heavenly Court. It seemed that this was a very dangerous decision, but Lin Xian decided to take the risk. Wealth came from danger. He would go all out. Lin Xian took a deep breath and condensed the Heavenly Quartz Dao again. The second ancient character appeared, and he quickly scanned the surroundings. The surrounding people were waiting and discussing. They did not think highly of Lin Xian because Light Golden Crow and the others had all tried and were helpless. Perhaps only a true great sage could do it. Lin Xian was strong, but there was still a gap between him and a true great sage. How could this kid succeed? Jiang Chen sneered. Golden Crow How also snorted. Even he couldn't succeed, let alone Lin Xian. But all of a sudden, his face froze and his eyes widened. Jiang Chen's pupils constricted. This was impossible. He felt as if he was dreaming. Dan Feng said, The array formation has been broken. With a cry of surprise, everyone raised their heads and looked over. They were dumbfounded. The array formation in front of them quickly cracked open. The people of the Purple Mansion were shocked. Could it be? They were all stunned. The array formation cracked open, and a figure walked out. "You broke it!" Yao Guang also exclaimed. Yu Fian walked up and observed carefully. She looked at Lin Xian in disbelief. "Lin Gongzi, you really succeeded." "Not bad." Lin Xian nodded. "I was lucky to be able to decipher it." "Lucky?" Everyone had strange expressions. "Damn it. How could this guy be so lucky?" Jiang Chun gritted his teeth. Golden Crow How's face also darkened. The others were speechless. Was it really good luck? This was not something that could be explained by luck. Lin Xian ignored these people and looked at Yu Fian. He said, "Previously, you said that whoever breaks this array formation will be able to obtain the ancient sage's lost art. I wonder if you can fulfill your promise." The successors of the immortal mountains discussed. Yu Fian stood her ground. She said, "Of course. Young master, please wait a moment. I'll go get it now." As she spoke, her figure flickered and flew into the distance. The others were incomparably envious. This guy really did it, and was going to obtain the lost art, the great desolate heaven splitting hand. Yao Guang had used it to shock Golden Crow How with a single strike. One could imagine how terrifying such a lost art was. After a while, Yu Fian returned. This time, she didn't come back alone. There was another figure who came back with her. Chapter 4650. It was an elder. He held a jade slip in his hand and said, "This must be Lin Gongzi, the one who cracked the array." As he spoke, he looked at the spirit formation. Wherever his gaze passed, a cold light appeared in his eyes. "He really cracked it." "That's right, I am." Lin Xian spoke again. The elder said, "Of course," and handed over the jade slip in his hand. What was recorded inside was the cultivation technique of the great desolate heaven splitting hand. Lin Xian took it and found that it was very complicated. It was recorded by the supreme saint with his soul. It was as vast as the sea. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. His heavenly secret godly eyes formed a light shadow and covered all the energy inside. In the next moment, he waved his hand and shattered the jade slip. Everyone was shocked. Did he finish reading it? The people of the Purple Mansion were also surprised. The great desolate sky splitting hand was so complicated that it couldn't be read in 2 or 3 years. Had this brat really finished reading it? Or did he just shatter it? Lin Gongzi? The elder was also surprised. Lin Xian said, "I finished reading it. To prevent others from stealing it, I destroyed it. I don't think you want more people to see it." Yu Fian and Yao Guang also frowned. What kind of soul is this? Even they couldn't do it, but this guy did it so easily. The old man also exclaimed, "Good," as expected of a young prodigy who can break the formation. "This is really an eye-opener for me. Lin Gongzi, your talent is admirable. I'm very curious. Why don't you stay in the Purple Mansion for a few days? I have some things to ask you. Of course, in return, the Purple Mansion won't mistreat you. Maybe we'll provide you with other ancient saint martial arts." The surrounding people gasped. Some of the geniuses' eyes turned red. Living in the Purple Mansion was something that they had dreamed of. There were so many martial arts in the Purple Mansion. If they could get 1 or 2, they would benefit immensely. But now, he had actually been tricked by this brat. How despicable! Jiang Chun, Jinwu Hao, and the others gritted their teeth. Lin Xian's heart was beating wildly. This old man wanted to trap him. He directly refused. "No, thank you for your kindness, but I still have things to do, so I won't be staying in the Z Mansion. Furthermore, one divine ability is already enough for me to cultivate. I don't want anything else." With that, Lin Xian turned to leave. "Young master, please wait." Yu Fian walked over and stopped Lin Xian. Lin Xian's expression darkened. "What? You want to stop me by force? We just want to have a chat with you. Yu Fian also emitted a terrifying aura. As the successor of the Immortal Mountain, not only was she extremely beautiful, her strength was also top-notch. Is that so? I also want to experience the strength of a Purple Mansion successor. Is he really as terrifying as the legends say? Lin Xian's eyes released a terrifying aura, and a powerful soul pressure emerged. Everyone felt their souls being suppressed, as if they would be torn apart at any moment. How could this guy's soul be so terrifying? Yu Fian's expression also changed. She snorted and was about to attack. At this moment, the old man in the back said, "Okay, stop." Yu Fian shook, then said, "Yes, Elder." She stepped back and stood respectfully to the side. The elder walked over and said, "Lin Gongzi, we treat you with respect. I hope you can consider it carefully. Don't refuse." Or else, he didn't speak but released an aura. The surrounding people were terrified. This was the aura of a supreme saint. This old man was actually a great sage. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. Damn it, he hid so deeply that he didn't sense it before. Was the supreme saint here because he was afraid he would resist and run away? What, you want to attack me? Facing a supreme saint. Lin Xian was still strong to the end. His gaze was resolute. The Purple Mansion great saint laughed. "I don't want to either, but, young master, please don't do that." It was over. Everyone shook their heads. A supreme saint attacked. He had to stay here even if he didn't want to. Lin Xian laughed. "The Purple Mansion great saint has a big appetite. Aren't you afraid you can't swallow it all?" "What do you mean?" The Purple Mansion great saint frowned. The others were also confused. Lin Xian sneered. "What, do you really think I don't know?" He pointed at the broken array in front of him and said, "Your array should be based on the peerless array in the Heavenly Court ruins. Don't you want to get the method to crack the Heavenly Court ruins? Now that I've cracked it, you want to suppress me and take the Heavenly Court for yourself?" Hearing this, the surrounding people were stunned. No way. There was such a thing? What nonsense! The Purple Mansion great saint's face darkened. His aura was as deep as the sea, and Lin Xian kept retreating. Lin Xian's face was pale. There was a strong sword intent on his body that seemed to be able to cut through everything. Golden light bloomed in his eyes. The eye of the god fought against it. "You're courting death." The Purple Mansion great saint roared. Lin Xian retreated again. He had the great saint's illusion on his body, but he was still injured. Blood dripped from the corner of his mouth. Lin Xian laughed. "What? Are you angry? You want to kill me?" Lin Xian looked at Yi Wudao, Xingtian Su, and the others. "You are all top geniuses. Now think carefully. Isn't this array very similar to the peerless array in the ancient Heavenly Court?" The geniuses began to recall and found that there were indeed some similarities, but the power was much weaker. They didn't realize it at first. If not for Lin Xian's reminder, they would still be in the dark. What nonsense! The Purple Mansion great saint wanted to attack. At this time, Yi Wudao said, "Why, I think so." "Yes, that's right." Xingtian Su also said. Light nodded. Even Jin Wuhao's face was cold. Although he wanted to kill Lin Xian, he knew that Lin Xian was right. Looking at this scene, Lin Xian laughed. "What? Do you still think that the Purple Mansion great saint can cover up the truth? Do you still want to monopolize this matter? So what if they know?" The Purple Mansion great saint said coldly, "If I want to suppress you, do you think they can resist? You can try to touch him." Danfeng walked out and said coldly, "This is a guest I brought. If you touch him, you will be an enemy of the Danding sect. Lin Xian is my friend. If you touch him, you will be going against me." Yi Wudao also walked out. The Purple Mansion great saint was silent. The others were also shocked. Danfeng, a new genius, might not be powerful enough. But Leaf Dao Denier was different. Yi Wudao's reputation had long been known. He had the sacred body of the ancients. When he grew up, he would be able to control the Yi family. That was the family of the Arch. No matter how strong the Purple Mansion Great Saint was, it had just reopened. It wasn't as grand as it was 70,000 years ago. Therefore, it was unwise to offend these two forces. If what Lin Gongzi said is true, then I think that the Light Tribe will invite Lin Gongzi to be our guest. At this time, Light said in a deep voice. Shengtiansa nodded. Yes, the Sacred Sky Tribe also wants to invite Lin Gongzi. The other geniuses spoke one after another. Chapter 46:51. The others were shocked. The Purple Mansion great sage's face darkened. He knew that today's matter could no longer be concealed, so he could no longer make a move. Otherwise, the Purple Mansion would have to face all the other top forces. After all, it seemed that Lin Xian's ability to decipher the array formation was the only key to unlocking the Heavenly Court's array formation. It seemed that the Purple Mansion had made a wise choice. Seeing them stop, Lin Xian sneered and said, "Thank you for your ancient saint's unique skill. I'll take it." Then he turned to leave. A stream of light flew over. Light said, "Lin Gongzi, I want to invite you to the Light Clan." Shengtian Su also walked over and invited him. Lin Xian said with a smile, "Don't worry, I won't leave. I'll rest at the Danding School. 5 days later, you can come and invite me." After saying that, Lin Xian looked at Dan Feng. Red Phoenix nodded, rose into the air, and disappeared. The others also said goodbye and returned to their families and sections. After all, they had to inform the elders of such a big thing. Damn kid! After Lin Xian and the others left, the Purple Mansion people's faces darkened, and their eyes were filled with killing intent. The Purple Mansion great sage sneered. "This kid is interesting. He dares to go against us." "Do you want to kill him?" Yao Guang asked. The Purple Mansion great sage said, "He's still useful. After we break the ancient Heavenly Court, he'll die." The news of the ancient Heavenly Court array and Lin Xian breaking the array spread throughout Taiching Ancient City. The remote antiquity families and sects were shocked. The Purple Mansion was really smart to come up with such a plan, and someone really could break the array. Where was Lin Xian? Quick, go, and invite him over here. Countless eyes gathered on Lin Xian. The Danding School people were also shocked when they heard the news. Lin Xian, wasn't he the person Hu Yuan brought back a few days ago? They didn't pay much attention to him before, but they didn't expect him to have such a method. "Oh no, we might have neglected him before. Let's go and see." These elders joined forces and headed toward the mountain range. Dozens of elders came together, making Hu Yuan feel as if he was facing a great enemy. "Elder Zhang, did I do anything wrong?" He was about to cry. The elder's eyes lit up. "It has nothing to do with you. Where's Lin Gongzi?" Lin Gongzi and Dan Feng were researching pills inside. Hearing this, the elders all flew in. "We request an audience with Lin Gongzi." When Lin Xian walked out, he was shocked as well. There were so many elders. "Seniors, please come in." Now that he was in Pill Cauldron School, he naturally had to be courteous to these elders. Those elders walked in and looked at Lin Xian as if they were looking at a peerless treasure, which made Lin Xian's heart turn cold. Dan Feng also did not know whether to laugh or cry. "Don't worry, elders, Lin Gongzi will definitely help us." After sending these elders away, she said, "Let's go. I'll take you to see my master." The Red Phoenix's master was extraordinary. He was a great saint. He was also a grand elder. When they arrived at the palace in the sky, Lin Xian felt a powerful flame aura. "Master, I'm coming." Dan Feng took the token and walked in. The surrounding flames kept flashing. Inside, an elder opened his eyes. "Feng, you're back." Then he looked at Lin Xian and said with a smile, "This must be Lin Gongzi, who has been in the limelight recently. This young heavenly talent is indeed extraordinary. Senior, you're too polite." Lin Xian did not dare to be careless in front of him because this person's aura was too terrifying. He was even more terrifying than the great saint of the Purple Mansion. Clearly, the other party was also an extremely formidable existence in the Great Saint realm. Great Saint Pilfire asked Lin Xian about the array. Lin Xian said, "There is indeed a way to break it, but he can't do it with his strength. When the time comes, he will meet a group of great saints." This matter was very important, so Great Saint Pilfire did not dare to be careless. Then he called a few more people. Two figures walked over. One was a mighty middle-aged man, the leader of Pill Cauldron School. The other was equally terrifying, Great Saint Purple Pill. The three great saints and Lin Xian discussed for a long time, then left. They had wanted to take Lin Xian alone to break the formation, but Supreme Saint Dan Hua shook his head. The three Supreme Saints were indeed powerful. The three great saints were powerful, but Pill Cauldron School alone was not enough to take down the ancient heavenly court. If they forced their way in, they would be in danger of being killed. Therefore, it was better to join forces with the other ancient clans and great sections. Once they broke the array and entered, it would be up to their own abilities. 5 days later, those people quickly arrived. The Light Clan was the first to arrive, but Lin Xian did not go to the Light Clan. Instead, he lost the Wind Clan. Because of Wind Phoenix and Leaf Doudenier, Lin Xian had to give face to Leaf Doudenier, even if he didn't want to. After arriving at the Wind Clan, Lin Xian sighed. The first time he came to the Wind Clan, he had followed Leaf Doudenier. At that time, it had been a grand occasion, but the main character was Leaf Doudenier, so no one paid attention to him. In fact, they had even ignored him. But this time, it was different. This time, everyone was paying attention to him, and the elders personally came to welcome him. They seemed to treat him as a supreme emperor and invited him in respectfully. The Moon Breeze couple looked at this scene as if they were in a dream. When they learned that Lin Xian was just a rogue cultivator, they directly ignored him. Who would have thought that Lin Xian would return not long after? He was like a supreme emperor who had arrived, not to mention the younger generation. Even the elders personally came to welcome him. Even the great saints came out. What an honor this was. If they had treated him better and not so arrogantly, perhaps a word from him would have been enough to raise their status in the clan. Thinking of this, they were filled with regret. Lin Gongzi, please. Two great saints and the elders personally invited Lin Xian in. Lin Xian and the two great saints chatted and laughed. During this time, Moon Breeze personally came over with spirit tea and stayed by Lin Xian's side. After learning about Lin Xian, she had specially dressed up today. Some disciples of the Wind Clan were stunned, but Lin Xian directly ignored them, treating them as air. Recently, he had been studying arrays and was a little tired. Lin Xian sighed. The Moon Breeze couple saw this as an opportunity, so they immediately stood up and said with a smile, "Let me massage your shoulders." Lin Xian turned back and said, "No need. Let Wind Phoenix do it." The Moon Breeze couple's hands stopped in midair, and their faces became extremely ugly. Wind Phoenix's face darkened. Who was she? She was the top genius of the Wind Clan. Now, they wanted her to massage his shoulders? What a joke! Her eyes could spit fire. However, the great saint of the Wind Clan laughed and said, "Phoenix, why don't you massage Lin Gongzi's shoulders?" Phoenix almost spat out a mouthful of blood. She was really being hammered. She was extremely unwilling, but she knew that Lin Xian was not the same as before. Even the great saints had to ask him for help. She gritted her teeth and came to Lin Xian. Chapter 4652. Princess Wind Phoenix. Thank you. Lin Xian smiled. Seeing his smiling face, Wind Phoenix gritted her teeth and wanted to beat him to death. But in the end, she didn't dare to do it. The surrounding disciples of the Wind Clan were stunned when they saw this scene. That was Wind Phoenix. No one in the younger generation could compare with her, but now she was treated as a maid by Lin Xian. It was truly unbelievable. Lin Xian nodded and praised while drinking the spiritual tea. Not bad. This technique was indeed a top-notch girl. This time, even the two supreme saints' faces were a little dark. Why was this guy so annoying? They coughed. Lin Xian smiled and said, "Seniors, don't worry. We'll break the array together." Lin Xian left the Wind Clan in the midst of these powerhouses' send-off. Then he went to the Light Clan and the Holy Sky Clan and received supreme treatment. Then Lin Xian returned to the Pill Cauldron sect. After returning, Hui Yuan walked up and said, "Lin Gongzi, someone wants to see you." "Oh, who is it? Which clan of the ancients is it?" It was very normal for someone to want to see him these days. Hui Yuan said, "No, he said he's your old friend. What does that person look like?" He was wearing a black robe, and his face couldn't be seen clearly. It was him. Lin Xian said, "Ask him to come over." Not long after, a black-robed man walked over. Lin Xian set up an array to isolate everything. Then he said, "Hey Sean, why are you here? There are legends about you outside. How can I not come?" "You're talking about the array?" Lin Xian shrugged. "Hey," Sean said, "I think you're getting more and more arrogant. Do you know what kind of place the ancient heavenly court is? Now you want to join forces with so many clans of the ancients. If you successfully enter, will those people let you go? I'm afraid the first one to be killed will be you." "I know." Lin Xian nodded. "But what do I have to do? Because I need more power. I've found it. The mastermind behind the Hurricane Lily is the Z Mansion. That was an existence that surpassed the clans of the ancients. Once they find out who I am, they'll definitely hunt me down and kill me. With my current strength, I can't resist it. Therefore, I have to enter the ancient heavenly court now and see if there are any great fortunes." Heishan sighed after hearing that. He sighed. Initially, he did not want to drag you into this, but it seems like you are already in the game. Since that's the case, we can only join forces. With your current strength, you won't be able to break through the ancient heavenly court's formation even with their help. However, with me, you should be able to. You can break the array in the ruins. Lin Xian was shocked. Black Mountain said, "Actually, I had the same idea as you. I wanted to borrow the power of the remote antiquity families, but you did it before me. This was good too." Since the Purple Palace had appeared, it was time to restart the Heavenly Court. Lin Xian was puzzled. He stared at Black Mountain and asked, "What's your relationship with the Heavenly Court?" Black Mountain smiled mysteriously. "You will know when the time comes." The two began to plan in secret. For this, Lin Xian was fully prepared. He set up many arrays and even made a clone. He dripped some golden saint blood on the clone. The clone was so lifelike as if it was real. Except for Lin Xian, no one else could tell it was real. Next, the people of the Golden Crow race also came to invite Lin Xian. Lin Xian refused directly. "Get out. I won't accept your invitation." The Golden Crow tribe went crazy. "Kid, do you want to die?" A strong cultivator stood between the sky and the earth, his powerful aura pressed down. The sky was full of flames that could burn the 9 heavens. It seemed that he wanted to suppress Lin Xian by force. The overwhelming Golden Crow phantoms turned into a golden heavenly steel and covered Lin Xian. The Golden Crow tribe sneered. "This should be enough." Boom. The people of the Pill Tripod sect were shocked. Many of them even began to call for Elder Zhang. At this moment, an earth-shattering sound was heard. The 16 Golden Crow steels were shattered, and Lin Xian walked out. He was a demon god. The great spear of destruction flew out with endless demonic energy. In the next moment, the Golden Crow tribe cultivator was pierced, and his blood dyed the 9 heavens red. Damn it! The other members of the Golden Crow tribe rushed up and wanted to attack. At this moment, the elders of the Pill Tripod sect also walked out. How dare you? Who gave you the courage to be so presumptuous in our sect? Do you want to protect this kid? The Golden Crow tribe was murderous. The elders of the Pill Tripod sect snorted. Lin Gongzi is an important guest of our sect. If you touch him, you will be going against our sect. Believe it or not, none of you will be able to leave today. Damn it! The Golden Crow tribe was furious. They stared at Lin Xian and shouted coldly, "Kid, do you think you can be arrogant for the rest of your life with the support of the Pill Tripod sect? Don't come out if you dare." Lin Xian laughed. "How dare you threaten me? Even if I leave the Pill Tripod sect, do you dare to attack me? Now, only I can break the array of the Heavenly Court. The Wind Clan, the Light Clan, and the Holy Clan, which one of them doesn't want to protect me. Only the Golden Crow tribe doesn't know what's good for you. Offending me is offending the remote antiquity families and sections. Do you think the Golden Crow tribe can fight against them? This kid's identity is not ordinary now. Let's swallow our anger first." In the sky, the Golden Crow tribe wanted to leave. They swore that they would kill him after the matter of the ancient heavenly court was over. Ha ha, just you wait. The Golden Crow tribe soared into the sky and wanted to leave. Lin Xian snorted. "You want to leave now? Did I let you leave? Do you want to kill us?" The Golden Crow tribe turned around and shouted coldly. Lin Xian said, "Yes, you're right. Today I'll send you to hell. Don't worry. Even if all of you die, the Golden Crow tribe won't dare to attack me now. Let's see who dares to attack me." The Golden Crow tribe's powerhouses shouted angrily. The Danding School's elders were also shocked. They wanted to persuade Lin Xian to just chase these people away. There was no need to kill them. The golden light in Lin Xian's eyes bloomed. One after another, monsters flew out and covered the sky. There was even a 3-eyed vermilion bird that swept across the land. The vermilion bird divine fire was really terrifying. The 3-eyed vermilion bird was given to him by Xiaomu as his guardian beast. Together with the ice fire swan, black water mystical snake, and other monsters, it was really terrifying. In the sky, there was a shocking battle. A pair of golden eyes swept across the land like the eyes of a god. He was controlling these monsters. The Danding School's people were stunned. What kind of method was this? Controlling monsters? Could it be that Lin Xian was a powerful beast tamer? Thinking of this, they were shocked. The Golden Crow tribe's people were very powerful. There were 3 late-stage sacred kings and 5 middle-stage sacred kings. But so what? The 3-eyed vermilion bird was at the peak of the sacred king realm. At this moment, his powerful attack was enough to destroy everything. In the sky, the Golden Crow tribe's people were all turned into barbecued meat and fell. Xian put them away. As for the storage rings, he also put them away. "Come back." The light in his eyes formed runes and controlled these monsters to return to the Black Earth. Chapter 4653. Lin Xian landed on the ground and heaved a sigh of relief. Even though he had used up a lot of his soul energy, it was still an earth-shattering experience. This was a pill for soul energy recovery. Behind him, Dan Feng walked out and took out a bottle of pills. After Lin Xian received it, he swallowed it and quickly recovered his soul power. Then Lin Xian did not go out again. He went into seclusion and began to wait. The other remote antiquity families and great sects had joined forces. Finally, they decided to take action together. Someone came to invite Lin Xian over. Lin Xian nodded and set off with the people from Pill Cauldron's sect. When they arrived at the Heavenly Court ruins again, the place had changed drastically. The killing intent was even more terrifying than before. The desolate aura and broken walls could easily pierce through saints. There were many people here, including many great sages. Lin Gongzi, you're here. The people from Light Race went up to welcome him. The people from Holy Heaven's Race also smiled. Lin Gongzi, please. The people from Wind Race and Serene Cloud sect also came and invited Lin Xian in respectfully. When the people around saw this, they were in an uproar. For a young man to receive such treatment, there was probably no one else other than Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded and followed the crowd. A few great sages smiled. Little friend Lin, you're here. After greeting the seniors, Lin Xian cupped his fists and smiled. Then he said, this time, I'm not the only one here. I brought an expert with me. He can be considered as half my master. My array formation was taught by him. This time, he will definitely be able to break the Heavenly Court's array formation. Hearing this, the great sage's eyes lit up. Really? Which expert is it? Beside Lin Xian, a black-robed man walked out. It's me. Countless gazes landed on Heishan, wanting to see through him. Heishan stood there with his hands behind his back. No matter how they probed, he remained motionless. The great sages frowned. They couldn't see through him. There seemed to be a layer of mist around him that blocked all probing. How should I address you? Someone asked. I am Black Mountain. Fellow Taoist Black Mountain. Lin Gongzi, can we begin? The great saint of the Feng clan smiled. Lin Xian glanced at Heishan and smiled. You can begin now. I will first set up a formation with him. Everyone, take the corresponding positions in the formation. You can continue to attack with your strength god art. Next, everyone waited while Lin Xian and Heishan began to set up the array. The 8 great saints fought in the 8 directions of the formation. The other saints also followed the order and stood in corresponding positions. A terrifying formation was formed, incomparably vast. Of course, the key was still Lin Xian and the Black Mountain. The Black Mountain had his own special method, and Lin Xian could use the 2 ancient Tao of the Heavenly Courts to crack it. Of course, the power of the great sages was also indispensable. Otherwise, it would have been impossible to break through. Begin. Following Lin Xian's command, an earth-shattering sound rang out, and a monstrous aura spread out in all directions. The others all retreated to the outside of the ruins and waited. In the ruins ahead, the wind and clouds changed, and a terrifying, murderous aura swept through the 9 heavens. Only the people inside the formation could withstand it. Otherwise, they would definitely die if they entered without permission. It had to be said that this supreme formation was really too powerful. Even with such a lineup, with so many ancient families and peerless sects attacking together, it was still impossible to break through. It took half a month for it to open. In the past half a month, Lin Xian had lost count of how many pills and divine crystals he had absorbed. His power had been exhausted many times. Fortunately, these ancient families and peerless sects had really taken out a lot of resources this time to be able to recover in an instant. In the process of continuing to break the formation, his use and understanding of the Heavenly Court's Tao had also deepened. His strength had also improved. Finally, one day, a voice rang out, and the entire formation slowly opened. That's great! Countless people exclaimed and looked into the distance. The great saint in front let out a loud roar. After half a month of hard work, they finally saw the results. The gate of the Heavenly Courts was open. What was inside? Everyone looked carefully and saw a passage in front of them. Below the passage was a spatial gate. Sure enough, there was another space. They had long guessed that this ruin was only the surface. The core should be an independent space. Of course, this was only their guess. Now that they saw the spatial gate, all of their guesses were confirmed. Has it opened? Lin Xian's eyes flickered, as if he wanted to see through it. At this moment, the people of the Purple Mansion stood up and said, Lin Gongzi, be careful. This is left behind by the heavenly courts. There might be other dangers. Young master, stay back. They joined forces in front and blocked Lin Xian. It seemed that they were protecting Lin Xian, but in fact, they were blocking Lin Xian's path. The others also moved. There were a few great saints in front of them, who were still standing there like gods. Pill Cauldron, Sec's Great Saint Pillfire said telepathically, Lin Gongzi, calm down. Let's go in and take a look. Lin Xian nodded and didn't say anything. Black Mountain stood there next to them and didn't seem to have any objections. Lin Xian was surprised. He knew Black Mountain well. He would never be at a disadvantage. Under normal circumstances, if these great saints wanted to force their way in and rob the treasures, Black Mountain would have turned hostile. But now he didn't. This meant that things weren't that simple. Perhaps there was something she didn't know. The great saints of the clan of the ancients in front of them joined forces and walked forward. In the next moment, they entered the spatial gate. The spatial gate shone brightly and enveloped the great saints. Then they disappeared. What's going on? The surrounding people were shocked. The spatial gate had disappeared. How did they get in? Could it be that only the great saints could enter the space of the heavenly courts? Everyone was panicking. Lin Xian was also surprised. At this moment, another spatial gate appeared in front of them. Only then did everyone heave a sigh of relief. It looked very mysterious. They didn't know, but as long as there was a spatial gate, they could enter the mysterious space. Then the others' eyes flickered. They were ready to move. Lin Xian's figure flickered. He wanted to go in as well. At this moment, the people of the Purple Mansion stopped him again. What's the meaning of this? The people of the Purple Mansion said, Sir, let us scout the way for you. They waved their hands. The people waiting in the distance also flew over. This time, not only were there older experts, but there were also young geniuses. For example, like Yi Wudao, Feng Huang, Dan Feng, and the others were here. Dan Feng's face fell when he saw this. Damn it. Are these people going back on their words? Black Mountain said, Kid, don't move. Let them go in first. The first two gates were spatial transmissions. They had already been transported to another world. It was impossible for them to return in a short time. Chapter 46-54. Hearing this, Lin Xian was shocked. So this was Black Mountain's method? The supreme saints in front were sent away and left this world. In this way, there would be less threats in the following fight. Thinking of this, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He saw that the Z Mansion and others were already gathering another group of masters. These were all peak Saint King level masters. They were all top masters of the older generation. These people became the second group. They entered the second space door and then disappeared. The rest also moved quickly. The third space door opened, and these people all went in one after another. A small number of them were peak Saint King level masters. Most of them were late-stage Saint King elders, and there were mid-stage and early-stage Saint King geniuses. These people all moved. The people from the Purple Mansion also left, but the people from the Golden Crow clan came over and stared at Lin Xian again. Kid, it's impossible for you to go in. Your mission has been completed, so you can go to hell now. Hearing this, everyone was in an uproar. Those who were still outside were shocked. They didn't expect the Golden Crow tribe people to want to kill him. Lin Xian's face darkened. What, you want to fight? In his eyes, there was a cold light. Kid, you were very arrogant before. Do you really think no one dares to touch you? Before, I only asked you to break the array. Now that the Heavenly Court's array has been broken, you have no value to live. Let's see who will protect you. Another Golden Crow powerhouse also walked up and said coldly, "You dared to kill the masters of the Golden Crow tribe. Today is the day you die." Everyone's scalp tingled. They didn't expect the Golden Crow tribe to really attack. At this time, Golden Crow How also walked out and said, "Everyone, don't talk nonsense with him. Just grab him. I'll go in and search for treasures first. After I come out, I'll torture him. I want him to know how miserable it is to offend the Golden Crow tribe." Then Golden Crow How laughed and turned around to leave. The Golden Crow tribe people all walked over and sneered. "Kid, tell us, how do you want to die?" Lin Xian snorted. "You Golden Crow tribe people are really looking for death. I wanted to let you live a little longer, but now, since you came to me, I won't be polite." At this moment, another person walked up. They were from the Tranquil Cloud sect. "I can feel the blood of the Tranquil Cloud sect's disciples on your body. You must have killed my Tranquil Cloud sect's disciples before. Today, you won't be able to escape death." A few experts from the Purple Mansion walked over as well. "You dared to challenge me, the Purple Mansion Great Sage. Today is the day you die." The surrounding people went crazy. They never thought that there would be 3 top forces that would attack Lin Xian. Among them, there were quite a few peak stage Saint Kings. This was practically a scene of certain death. In the face of such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian coldly snorted. "Was everyone here? If you want to fight, then come at me. I'll take you on." After he finished speaking, he let out a furious roar. The divine flame on his body exploded and swept across the 9 heavens. A terrifying aura enveloped the area. At this time, he released the doppelganger that he had refined earlier. At this time, he used the void escape technique to hide. Together with Black Mountain, they quietly entered the space door in front of them. "You want to resist? Attack." The experts from the Golden Crow tribe, the Tranquil Cloud sect, and the Purple Mansion roared and quickly moved. Their divine powers covered the sky and completely covered the area. The doppelganger was instantly torn into pieces. Golden Saint Blood fell from the sky. It really couldn't withstand a single blow. "I didn't even use my strength, and it's already dead?" The evil spirit sneered. The eyes of the Purple Mansion people flashed. The people from the Golden Crow tribe coldly snorted. "This is the result of daring to go against us. Let's go." With a wave of his hand, they also quickly entered. The people outside were stunned. Lin Xian was dead? It was too unbelievable. Such a terrifying array formation genius had fallen. Just like that. What a pity. Someone sneered. He was too arrogant. He was alone, a lone cultivator with no background. He provoked so many ancient families and peerless sections. If he didn't die, then he would be defying the heavens. Everyone thought that Lin Xian had fallen, but they didn't know that. The one that had fallen was only a doppelganger. Lin Xian had already sneaked in. After entering, Lin Xian found that it was indeed an independent space. The aura and laws here were familiar to him. This was the Tao of the Heavenly Court. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. The Black Mountain had already disappeared. It was obvious that the spatial door could teleport people randomly. Thinking of this, his figure flashed and changed his aura. Endless demonic energy formed a battle armor and turned into a demonic godlike figure. It seemed that the other ancient families and peerless sects had also separated. Since that was the case, then they shouldn't blame him for being impolite. The Golden Crow tribe, the Purple Mansion, and the Tranquil Cloud sect, he wouldn't let any of them go. Thinking of this, his figure flashed and flew forward. He flew past countless forests. Suddenly, a palace appeared in the forest. The palace was different from the one outside. It was no longer in ruins. Instead, it was flowing with divine radiance. It was unusually mysterious. At the sight of this, Lin Xian was astonished as he descended. Not long after he landed, more people descended. Among them, there were 4 golden crows, and one of them was from the Tranquil Cloud sect. Seeing this, Lin Xian suddenly turned his head and stared at those people. He snorted coldly and said, "Get over here and accept your death." The experts of the Golden Crow tribe and the Tranquil Cloud sect were stunned. They stared ahead. It seemed that the person's aura was very young. He was only an early Saint King. What a reckless fool. Just based on you dare to contend against us? Looking at the other party's appearance, he was alone, and his cultivation was so weak. He should be from an ordinary sect. Daring to fight against them was simply courting death. Kid, this divine palace is ours. You scram. They stared at the palace in front of them, their eyes shining. Lin Xian said, "You are not qualified. I will make you Golden Crow tribe, and the Tranquil Cloud sect despair." After that, demonic energy exploded from his body. Like a peerless demon god, a black spear appeared in his hand, and he attacked. Courting death, let's kill him together. Don't waste time. These people attacked together. 5 middle stage Saint King experts were prepared to kill the figure in front of them. After all, this divine palace did not look ordinary. They had to enter in advance. If they attracted other experts, it would be troublesome. Lin Xian's gaze swept across and stared at the expert from the Tranquil Cloud sect. The Great Destruction Spear flew out. Courting death, the expert from the Tranquil Cloud sect shouted coldly. His black palm was like a cloud that floated over. It enveloped the front, wanting to grab the black spear. With a clang, a sonorous sound rang out. But in the next moment, a roar sounded out. The black palm was instantly pierced through. The Great Destruction Spear carried the power to destroy everything. Not only did it pierce through the opponent's palm, it also tore apart the opponent's body. I said, "I will make you despair." As he spoke, he waved his arm. The Great Destruction Spear pierced through the opponent's soul and nailed him to the void. Chapter 46:55. Was he dead? The other Golden Crow clan members were stunned. They did not expect that the other party could kill such an expert with one strike. Damn it, were the people of the Serene Cloud sect trash? The 4 of us joined hands. They belonged to the same ancient race, and their bloodline was incomparably powerful. Under their joint efforts, the Golden Crow fire was like 4 suns, constantly rotating. Lin Xian sneered. Were the Golden Crow clan members very strong? Today, I will refine you. The Great Destruction Spear attacked again. Black demonic chi pierced through the 9 heavens, enveloping the entire world. The 4 suns were also covered by demonic chi. The Golden Crow clan members felt the pressure. Not good. Why was this person so strong? This was a top genius, able to fight above his level. Attack with all your strength. The 4 of them roared. The leader was an old man. A golden long saber flew out from between his eyebrows, descending from the sky. Another person attacked with a golden pagoda. The other 2 formed a terrifying domain, enveloping heaven and earth. The 4 people's ultimate techniques and abilities were used together, but it was useless. Lin Xian held the Great Destruction Spear in his hand, sweeping across the area, killing intent soaring to the sky. The golden long saber was split into 2, and the terrifying pagoda was shattered by a punch. The black spear turned into lightning, piercing through 2 golden crows. Then a terrifying light erupted. It tore the 2 golden crows into pieces. The remaining 2 were stunned. They turned and fled. What a joke! The other party was too strong. Even if they joined hands, they would not be able to defeat him. Now you want to escape? Don't you still want to kill me? Don't you think I am useless? Lin Xian's figure flashed, tearing apart the void, blocking the other party's path. Damn it, who the hell are you? The two Golden Crow clan experts roared. Lin Xian recovered his true appearance and said, "Who do you think I am?" "What? It's you?" The two Golden Crow clan experts were scared out of their wits. "Weren't you already dead?" Previously, the three great sects attacked together, and the top forces killed the other party. It was impossible for the other party to still be alive. What was going on? Lin Xian sneered. "You don't understand? Then go to hell." To think about it. The black spear attacked again. Two roars sounded. Then, two bodies landed on the ground. Lin Xian waved his hand and collected the 5 storage rings. As for the rest of the people, they were all beaten into a bloody mist. After doing all that, Lin Xian sneered and walked into the divine palace before him. In the vast mountains outside, a few figures stopped, a young man and an old man. The old man frowned. "I can sense the aura of our Golden Crow clan in the vicinity. It seems that they have died." That young man's expression also changed greatly. "Who dared to touch us?" "The people of the Golden Crow clan." "Seventh Grandpa, let's go and take a look." The two of them quickly rose into the air and flew off into the distance. Finally, they saw a divine palace in front of them that was emitting divine light. There was blood in front of the temple. What a terrifying aura. Damn it, it's the aura of our Golden Crow clan. And there's more than one of them. Damn it, the old man roared. Golden Wule also said, "Seventh Grandpa, it must be our people who fought with the other party for the temple. Our people have fallen. The enemy must be inside. Let's go in." The old man directly charged in. Golden Wule followed behind. He was facing a great enemy. To be able to kill so many of their family's powerhouses, there must be a lot of people on the other side. There might even be a dozen of them. He was worried. However, when he entered, he was stunned. There was only one figure in front of him, standing there with his back facing him. "Who are you?" Golden Wule asked coldly. "Are you the one who killed the people of the Golden Crow clan?" Lin Xian stood in front and ignored him. At this moment, his gaze fell on the front. There was a table in front of him. There were many things on the table that seemed to be used for sacrifices. However, the rest had been turned into nothingness and were shattered. Only one of them was still intact. It was a spirit fruit. It was definitely not an ordinary item that could preserve its power for so many years. Golden Wule was furious when he saw that the other party ignored him. "Kid, are you deaf? I'm asking you a question." Seventh Grandpa waved his hand and said, "Shut up." He walked to the other side and went around Lin Xian. Finally, he saw the scene in front of him. When he saw the spirit fruit on the table in front of him, he cried out in surprise. It was an immortal peach. "What? Is there a treasure?" Golden Wule also flew over. When he saw the spirit fruit, his eyes also turned red. It might have been left behind tens of thousands of years ago. It might be an elixir of immortality. If he ate one, he might be able to immediately become a flying immortal. At the very least, it could increase his strength and let him break through. Thinking of this, he impatiently stretched out his golden claws and clawed at the front. In midair, a black palm blocked him and grabbed his sharp claws. Lin Xian turned his head and said coldly, "You want to snatch something from me? You are courting death." Lin Xian exerted force in his palm. A terrifying demonic aura turned into a millstone of death and broke the other party's claws. Golden Wule screamed and retreated. "Damn it! Seventh Grandpa, help me kill him." "Die, Aunt." The seventh elder shouted angrily and quickly rushed forward. He was a sage king in the late stage and was very powerful. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Then he waved his hand and a black water mystical snake flew over, releasing a terrifying aura. Lin Xian looked at Golden Wule and laughed coldly. "You think you can do anything to me just because you have Elder Zhang? Today, I will kill you in front of your elders. Let's see what you can do to me." As he spoke, he slapped Golden Wule. Golden Wule screamed, and his body was torn into pieces. The seventh elder shouted angrily, "Damn it! Why are you going against us? Do you want to be enemies with the Golden Wule tribe?" Lin Xian laughed. The demonic aura on his body dissipated, and his true face was revealed. "If I don't attack you, will you let me go? Didn't you want to kill me?" When they saw Lin Xian's face, the two of them were shocked. "Damn it, you are still alive. Run." The seventh elder roared, and told Golden Wule to run while he attacked Lin Xian. The black water mystical snake turned into lightning and blocked the Golden Wule elder. The black water mystical snake carried the power of the Black Sea and fought against the flames. Lin Xian looked at Golden Wule. "Do you think you can escape?" He rushed forward with extreme speed and grabbed Golden Wule elder's head. Golden Wule elder was frozen and couldn't use his strength at all. Lin Xian pulled back his hand, and Golden Wule elder's limbs were broken and turned into a bloody mist. Golden Wule elder roared crazily. The pain made him want to die. Lin Xian said, "How far have we gone? I will let you feel my soul attack." He turned into a soul world and let Golden Wule elder's soul enter to suffer for 100 generations. In the blink of an eye, thousands of years had passed. Golden Wule elder's soul was tortured for countless years and died in despair. In reality, it only happened for a second. Chapter 46:56. Lin Xian turned to the elder and sneered, "It's your turn now." "Damn it, you killed him." The seventh elder roared. That was one of his grandsons, and Qin Haodong killed him right in front of him. And now Qin Haodong wanted to kill him. He roared to the sky and forced the Blackwater mystical snake to retreat. "You have a demonic beast that can fight against me, but it's impossible for you to kill me. I'll go back now and use the power of my family to tear you to pieces." Qin Haodong was too terrifying. Qin Haodong didn't die even after facing such a terrifying attack. He had to tell his family to send more experts to kill Qin Haodong. Lin Xian sneered. "Do you think I'll let you go? Also, who told you that I only have one demonic beast?" Golden light bloomed in his eyes and formed a pair of golden eyes above his head. Then a figure flew out. The ice fire swan released the terrifying power of ice and fire and attacked. The seventh elder's face turned ugly. He was also a late-stage Saint King. If the two demonic beasts wanted to kill him, he would definitely die. It looked like he was going to risk his life. With a roar, he took out a pagoda and immortalized the peach. It looked like he didn't want to give up on the treasure in the process of escaping. The peach was enveloped by the pagoda and rose into the air. Lin Xian sneered. "You don't know what's good for you. You're about to die, but you still want to fight for the treasure. How stupid." Suddenly, he was stunned and shocked. What's going on? Even the seventh elder was stunned. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The change in front of him was very shocking. The peach left the table and flew toward the pagoda, but it turned into ashes in the air and scattered on the ground. What's going on? The seventh elder of the Golden Crow tribe was stunned and stared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian was also stunned. The golden light in his eyes bloomed, and he looked at the table. He smiled. "So that's how it is. It looks like I've been fooled." With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian grabbed the white jade plate containing the immortal peaches and pulled it over. The plate was engraved with endless great Tao. It was very mysterious. There was even a palm at the bottom of the plate. Lin Xian was shocked. She was indeed a treasure. It was no wonder that the other spiritual herbs had already been destroyed, and only the peach of immortality was still intact. It was because of this plate. As soon as the peach left the plate, it instantly turned into ashes. The Golden Crow elder had also noticed this. He roared, "Kid, give it to me." Lin Xian sneered. "You're about to die. Yet you still want treasures? Go to hell. He waved his hand and activated his eye technique. The black water mystical snake and the frostfire swan flew over. The golden crow elder roared angrily. The pagoda descended to resist the attack. Boom, boom. His aura was shaken, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. He knew he wasn't a match for him, so he turned around and fled. Where are you going? Lin Xian rushed up and struck out with the Great Destruction Spear. It was like a sharp sword that slashed down. Courting death, the golden crow elder kicked out and collided with the spear of great destruction in the air. Lin Xian's arm was numb from the shock. The golden crow elder was also shocked. Damn it, was this brat already able to contend with him? This was too heaven-defying. Lin Xian sneered. He activated his eye technique and continuously attacked the golden crow elder's soul. The golden crow elder was disdainful at first, but Lin Xian's soul power was too strong, especially after he had recently comprehended the 14th Heavenly Secrets Tao diagram. The power of reincarnation was unleashed by him, turning into a ray of reincarnation light. The golden crow elder's head cracked open, and his soul was injured. He roared and used the pagoda to protect his soul. Boom. The frostfire swan shot out ice and froze him. The blackwater mystical snake turned into a sharp sword and pierced through his body. Under the attacks of the two beasts, the golden crow elder finally fell. The old man transformed into his true form and fell down, turning into a small golden mountain. Lin Xian took the old man's storage ring and the mountain-like corpse. Then he searched the temple again. There was nothing else. It seemed that this was a place of worship. Lin Xian was not in a hurry to go out. Instead, he carefully looked at the white jade plate that he had obtained. After studying it, he found that the most important thing was that the palm formed by the great Tao seemed to be able to hold up everything. This should be a terrifying divine ability. Lin Xian raised his palm and derived the great Tao on it. He had previously comprehended the heavenly quartz Tao, which formed two ancient characters. Therefore, his cultivation speed was extremely fast at this moment. In addition, the great dragon sword soul had the ability to derive everything. Therefore, it did not take long for him to derive it. He felt that his palm had become extraordinary. What kind of power was this? Lin Xian was surprised. He felt that this palm did not seem to be able to attack, but it had a special divine ability. He took out the golden crow elder's body from before and held it in his palm. Immediately, a wave of power surged into the golden crow elder's body. There was a change. That enormous body actually turned into a drop of blood essence that floated above his palm. The pure power on it surprised Lin Xian. It seemed that the impurities had been removed. It was too magical. It must be related to the sacrifices of the heavenly court. Lin Xian was overjoyed and stored the blood essence. At the same time, he was about to hand the plate to Little White. After Little White came out and saw the white jade plate, she was also overjoyed. She waved her claws and directly pulled the great Tao over. The white jade plate shattered. The palm that was propped up landed on top of the treasure bowl, making it seem even more mysterious. Lin Xian was surprised. What is this? Little White babbled. The hand of creation. Lin Xian looked forward again and sighed. They must have been worshipping something back then, but I don't know what it is now. Little White said, I'm hungry. Let's go find the treasure. Lin Xian smiled. You little imp. Then he left this place. With the treasure bowl and the hand of creation, Little White guided Lin Xian all the way through the mountains and rivers and finally arrived in front of him. There were mountains in front of him. The tallest one was tens of thousands of feet tall, like a sharp sword. At the top, there was a vine with a gourd on it. It seemed that there was more than one gourd in the past, but it had been taken away by someone, leaving only the last purple gourd. The gourd was not big, but it was a creation of heaven and earth. The power it contained was shocking. Little White clapped her hands and smiled. "Hey, that thing suits me. You little guy. Okay, I'll get it for you." Lin Xian smiled and walked forward. His appearance attracted the attention of countless people. In the next moment, everyone saw a man who looked like a demon walking over. Who is it? What a terrifying aura. Countless people looked over. But when they saw that Lin Xian was alone, they no longer paid attention. No matter how strong a person was, his ability was limited. Here, they relied on the strength of a group. In the sky ahead, the stars were bright, and the sun and moon alternated. The purple gourd on the mountain also shook. Endless purple light flew in all directions. Chapter 46:57. Countless people became nervous when they saw this scene. Their eyes shone with a cold light. It seemed that the gourd had changed. They had to get it. Anything that grew in the heavenly court was definitely heaven-defying. Some of the desolate ancient families had already guessed the origin of the gourd. It had appeared tens of thousands of years ago. It was a green-skinned gourd. This purple-skinned gourd might have the same power. If it was really that kind of gourd, they had to get it. Heaven and earth shook. The gourd seemed to have become the center of the world, spreading out in all directions. The purple aura turned into purple sword light that pierced through heaven and earth. Everyone felt a chill down their spines. They were all ready to attack. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He turned his head and saw that the people from the top sects and families were all there. Other than that, there were some other experts. Although there weren't many people, no one who could come here was weak. The surrounding people were also excited, but no one dared to act rashly. The aura made them feel fearful. After a while, someone finally couldn't take it anymore. He turned into a ray of cold light and rushed over. This person had a holy radiance that shone between heaven and earth. He was from the Sacred Heavens clan. After they arrived, they threw out the Sacred Heavens diagram that shrouded the purple gourd. Not good. Seeing this, the others exclaimed. A few more people rushed up. A storm gathered. It was the Wind clan. The Serene Cloud sect also attacked. They threw out a terrifying serene cloud palm that grabbed the purple-skinned gourd from another direction. Countless people were shocked. Could it be that the purple gourd was going to be obtained by these people? However, at this moment, on the vines, suddenly, purple flames appeared. It swept out. It shrouded them. Boom. Get lost. Angry roars could be heard. Those experts roared and tried to counterattack. However, the purple flames were too terrifying. They were instantly ignited and burned to ashes. A few figures fell from the sky. There were still flames dancing on their bodies. In the end, they turned into nothingness. How terrifying. Countless people were shocked. Wasn't this vine too terrifying? However, the pupils of some experts shrank. No, it wasn't just the flames. There were other experts secretly attacking. Lin Xian frowned. He had indeed sensed an unusual aura. Golden light blossomed in his eyes. So that was how it was. Someone had indeed made a move in the dark. Who is it? Get out here. The experts of the Saint Heaven's clan were enraged. The void near the towering mountain cracked open, and a purple figure appeared. A terrifying aura enveloped the 9 heavens like a purple mountain. The flames turned into a sea that swept out in all directions. The surrounding people quickly retreated. This person was really too scary, and he didn't seem to be a human. Was it a demonic beast? Countless people were shocked. Divine light blossomed from their eyes as they observed the sky full of flames. Lin Xian saw it immediately and was shocked. It was the purple Qilin. Everyone was shocked. This was actually a Qilin, a divine beast. Had he been living in the heavenly court all this time? If that was really the case, it would be too terrifying. No, I know this purple Qilin. It came from the outside. An old man from the Wind clan said, through gritted teeth. The others heaved a sigh of relief when they heard this. However, he was also incomparably shocked. Although he did not come from the heavenly court ruins, the Qilin race itself was incomparably powerful, and their bloodline was extremely strong. Even the Qilin cave was an emperor race that had produced a great emperor. This purple Qilin was very strong and would be difficult to deal with. This saint has taken a fancy to this gourd. You humans better scram, or I'll let you all swallow it. A shocking roar accompanied by terrifying flames swept out in all directions. Some of the weaker Saint Kings felt that their bodies were about to melt. The bloodline flames were really too powerful. You're too arrogant. Although you're a Qilin, which one of the people here isn't an ancient family or a peerless sect that isn't weaker than you. You want to take the purple gourd for yourself? I'm afraid you don't have the strength. The old man from the Wind clan shouted coldly. Is that so? With just you guys? The purple Qilin was disdainful. He was a peak saint beast, and his strength was not something these people could imagine. Then what about us? The people from the Saint Heavens clan walked out. The people from the Light clan and the Serene Cloud sect also moved out. They were prepared to deal with the Qilin together. Only by killing it could they compete with each other and have a chance to obtain the purple gourd. Everyone, let's work together. The old man from the Wind clan shouted. He raised his hand, and a wind blade swept out. Thousands of wind blades swept out towards the purple Qilin. Boom. The purple flames that filled the sky were split apart in an instant. Countless people were shocked. It was too terrifying. Even Lin Xian was shocked. It seemed like he had to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight while waiting for an opportunity. The attack of the old man from the Wind clan had thoroughly infuriated the Qilin. The purple Qilin roared crazily. A purple pillar of light rushed over. Attack! The people from the Light clan rushed over. They reached the purple Qilin's side at extreme speed and punched out. The purple Qilin's body shook, but it did not break through its defense. Instead, its tail swept over like a heavenly blade. The people from the Light clan quickly dodged. Buzz! The purple Qilin moved unhindered between heaven and earth. Its body was constantly growing. In the end, it was even more terrifying than 100,000 zhang tall mountain. The mountain was not even as big as its feet. After displaying such a strong physique, it began to kill in all directions. The surrounding experts quickly attacked. There was no choice. If they did not defeat the purple Qilin now, they would not even have the chance to get close. Run! Those who were prepared to watch ran away in the next moment. The flames had already killed many people in the surroundings. They were instantly turned into nothingness. Not even their bones were left behind. How valiant was this? Perhaps only the experts could go up and fight in close combat. The others could only join forces and attack from afar. Lin Xian kept dodging. From time to time, he would attack with the dragon sword to extinguish the surrounding flames. He was relatively far away, so the flames were not too powerful and could not threaten him. However, it was impossible for him to get close. The figure that covered heaven and earth was like a god, blocking everyone's hope. However, the people who attacked were not weak either. The top experts of the clan of the ancients and the great sects were not a match for the purple Qilin in a one-on-one fight. However, at this moment, they attacked together. It was also extremely terrifying. Gradually, they suppressed the purple Qilin. Cracks began to appear on the purple Qilin's body. Purple blood dripped down. The Qilin was completely enraged. It attacked crazily. However, its injuries were getting worse. In the end, Its body was burning with blood. It was only a matter of time before it died. Of course, the purple Qilin could escape. However, the purple calabash was too valuable. Even though it was injured to such an extent, the purple Qilin did not seem to want to escape. Chapter 46:58. Lin Xian stood in the distance and observed. At this moment, he sneered as he realized that the great sects had started to secretly attack each other. Although they were still hiding, Lin Xian knew that once the Qilin fell, these experts would fight again. This was the opportunity that he wanted. Only in such a situation would he be able to seize the treasure. Suddenly, Lin Xian frowned and activated his heavenly secret divine eyes to the extreme. It was as if he could see through everything. In the next moment, Lin Xian snorted. The Z Mansion had many tricks up their sleeves. The most mysterious people present were the Z Mansion's people. They had collected countless cultivation techniques and divine abilities. No one could say for sure how many tricks they had up their sleeves. At this moment, the Z Mansion's people seemed to have started to secretly attack while the other remote antiquity families had yet to react. However, none of this could escape Lin Xian's eyes. Lin Xian felt that it was time to go out. His figure flickered, and he rushed forward. At the same time, the purple gourd on the mountain became even more mysterious. The Tao runes on it intertwined, and it seemed to have been completed. The others sensed the change in the purple gourd, and they were also moved. There were also some hidden experts who rushed forward. They were like shadows, and their speed was extremely fast. Boom! The battle ahead was still going on. All sorts of terrifying laws filled the air, and the great Tao intertwined. The Qilin's body was already broken, and it would not be able to hold on for long. It might even be killed. At this moment, the gigantic Qilin's body quickly shrunk and turned into the size of a human. It then broke through the void and escaped. Did it leave? Countless experts stopped what they were doing and no longer attacked. This time, they had also suffered heavy losses. The number of people that they had brought with them was not less than one. However, the result was good. Their biggest enemy had left. Next, it was time for them to attack. Lin Xian frowned. It was earlier than he had expected. Xiao Bai blinked her big eyes and said, "Oh, that Qilin did not run too far." It did not run too far? Lin Xian snorted. Could it be that the other party was also going to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight? However, he did not care. If the other party had been like this from the beginning, it might have been fine. But now, the other party was severely injured and did not have much strength left. If he dared to come out, he would suffer a terrible fate. "Let's go." He used the void escape technique and tore through the void and flew towards the mountain. Soon, he arrived at the mountain range. At this moment, he could already feel the aura of the purple gourd. The purple light on his body, the purple light on, made a clanging sound. It was obvious that the purple-skinned gourd was an incredible treasure. He had to deal with it. Taking a deep breath, he prepared to make a move. However, at this moment, another voice came from behind him. You think you're not qualified? Get lost." Lin Xian turned around and discovered a few shadowy figures. They were the people of the Tranquil Cloud sect. These few figures, Xian Exuan, Exuan Xian, Xian Xian, Xian Xian's hands Exuans, Xian, S. Demonic chi covered the area, turning into a demonic disk. It rushed over, as if it could destroy everything in the world. Courting death, 3 silhouettes rushed forward, down. Shadow arrow. Monstrous laws swept out, seemingly wanting to pierce through everything. Clanging sounds rang out as a great battle erupted. The expressions of the three Tranquil Cloud sect experts changed. They realized that even with the three of them working together, they were still unable to take down the other party. On the contrary, everyone was shaken to the point that their blood and chi were roiling. Lin Xian sneered. Within the pitch-black demonic chi, an astonishing gaze swept across. Their souls were injured. Initially, when the three of them were working together, their teamwork was formidable. However, at this very moment, their souls were being impacted. In fact, they were even affected by the illusion. Their teamwork would crumble in an instant. Lin Xian arrived in front of one of them and shattered his body with a single palm strike. Little White also grabbed the other person and knocked him out. Then Lin Xian took out the Great Destruction and pierced the two of them. 3 Tranquil Cloud sect experts had fallen. The pupils of those who had rushed over shrank when they saw this scene. So powerful! These 3 experts were all in the middle stage of the Saint King realm and were extremely powerful existences. He was about to reach the late stage of the Saint King realm, but in the hands of the other party, it was like cutting vegetables, killed in an instant. This demonic Tao expert was too scary. The other party was clearly an early stage Saint King, but he possessed such strength. Damn it! Seeing this scene, the evil spirit's face turned cold. The other party dared to kill the people of the Tranquil Cloud sect. Damn it! His figure changed and he wanted to rush over. But at this moment, a golden light streaked across, and a middle-aged man from the Golden Crow race charged towards him. The evil spirit roared. He could only fight with the other party and did not have the mood to care about anything else. The current situation was extremely shocking. Everyone was fighting, and there seemed to be endless danger. The young geniuses were also facing the assassination of the older generation experts. Even Lin Xian was under attack once again. There were 5 experts around him, surrounding him. Lin Xian dodged quickly, and the demonic chi on his body surged to the skies, fighting against them. At this moment, another figure landed. Since this is the case, this thing is mine. An expert from the light race tore open the void and flew forward. This was a lady from the light race, and she seemed to be from the younger generation as well. Although she was not from the light race, she was equally terrifying. Her speed was extremely fast, and she leaped through everything, arriving beside the purple gourd. Not good, many people exclaimed. To think that the light race had such a hidden genius. The lady's lips curled as a golden net appeared around her, wanting to trap the other party. But at this moment, she was sent flying as though she was struck by lightning. What was going on? The people from the light race were shocked, and so were the others. Who was it? Where was the expert who could hit the light race? It must be the light race. They were too careless. From the void, a figure walked out. It was a skeleton, and there was no aura coming from it. The faces of the people from the light race were terrible. Damn it, it was a puppet. No wonder their geniuses could not sense it. The skeleton was secretly controlled by someone, and it sent the genius of the light race flying with a palm strike. The other palm formed an endless seal that covered the purple gourd. The purple gourd shone with a bright light that pierced through the 9 heavens. Cracks appeared on the skeleton palm, and it was even pierced through. However, this was just a puppet after all. It had no fear and only knew how to follow orders. Even though it was riddled with holes, it still grabbed the purple gourd, tore open the void, and disappeared. Damn it, who was it? The people from the clan of the ancients were going crazy. Until now, they still did not know who was secretly controlling the skeleton. The other party's means were too terrifying. They had deceived everyone. Chapter 4659. That's great. The people from the Z government were smiling. But very quickly, Their facial expressions became ice cold again. They also pretended to be anxious. They couldn't let others know that they were the ones who did it. They controlled the white bones and flew away. When the people here weren't paying attention, they would meet up again. Lin Xian snorted when he saw this scene. Others couldn't find it, but his Tianji divine eyes could. In the next moment, he shouted coldly, "Do you think we don't know that the Purple Mansion sect is secretly doing something?" What? The surrounding people were in an uproar. Did the Purple Mansion sect do it? They all turned their heads to look. The people from the Purple Mansion sect had ugly expressions. "Who dares to challenge us?" Lin Xian sneered. Only the people from the Purple Mansion sect were all-encompassing and had endless divine abilities. It wasn't difficult for them to control a mere white bone. If they didn't make a move, he would really get the item. Lin Xian's voice was erratic, and no one knew who it was that had spoken. However, everyone was sure that it was the Purple Mansion sect who did it. The people from the Purple Mansion sect snorted and quickly retreated. The others surrounded the white bone. Did they want to leave? The atmosphere became more and more tense. Some people even attacked. Lin Xian sneered when he saw this scene. His body flickered as he used the void escape technique and quickly flew in the air. He arrived in front of the white bone. Lin Xian struck out with his palm and hit the white bone. The white bone shook, but it didn't break. In fact, its hardness was beyond his expectations. Damn it, someone is attacking. The people from the Purple Mansion sect roared. Quickly chase after it. The item was stolen. The others also snorted. Don't try to trick us. However, there were also some people who flew into the air. Indeed, they saw a white bone being beaten out of the void. Who is it? They all turned their heads to look. The people from the Purple Mansion sect roared, but it was useless. They quickly controlled the white bone and left. The white bone was very strange. No matter how strong the attack was, it couldn't be opened. They were confident. The others flew into the air and attacked the white bone. Lin Xian's face sank when he saw this. Hard? Let's see if your defense is stronger or my attack is stronger. He summoned the great dragon sword soul, held it with both hands, and slashed out. Heaven and earth were split into two, and the white bone claw was chopped down. Lin Xian quickly left with the claw. Within the palm was the purple-skinned gourd. How was this possible? The faces of the people from the purple government palace behind them became ugly. Their smiles froze. The way they saw it, no one would be able to break through the skeleton. Yet, someone had actually managed to slash apart the sword image with a single sword strike. Who was it? They soared into the air. After setting up for so long, they finally succeeded. Who would have thought that it would be snatched away by someone else? How could they be willing to accept this? As for the others, their eyes turned red. Kill that person. It was that mysterious demonic cultivator from before. He absolutely could not let him escape. Everyone could see a demonic shadow shuttling back and forth. They were frantically chasing after him. Buzz. The people from the Light Clan were the first to catch up. They were very fast. This was especially true for the woman from before. She was already infuriated by the fact that she had been ambushed. Now that he had found his target, how could he give it up? People of the demonic path, go to hell. The woman from the Light Clan shot out a bolt of lightning. She was extremely powerful to begin with. It was enough to tear apart everything. This bolt of lightning was even more terrifying. Lin Xian's body was hit, and he deviated from his direction. However, he did not pay attention to it and continued flying. How was this possible? The woman from the Light Clan was stunned. He hadn't been able to break through his opponent's defenses with his attack. Instead, she was injured by the impact. Her palm was shattered. What kind of physique did he have? However, this attack had also slowed down Lin Xian's speed. The people from the Purple Government Palace rushed over in an instant. A middle-aged man formed a seal with his palms, forming a large purple net. The power of the seal was extremely terrifying. Obviously, it was a type of unique technique. The people from the purple government palace were bound to kill. Buzz. A long spear flew out, tearing apart the large black net. At the same time, it shot towards the man in purple. The middle-aged man shouted angrily. He combined his palms and slapped on the Great Destruction Spear. He quickly retreated, and the Great Destruction Spear flew past him. It made his hair stand on end. Damn, this weapon is so terrifying. Buzz. In the sky, the sage heavenly diagram flew down with a power that could suppress heaven and earth. Lin Xian clenched his fist and punched out. It turned into a heavenly demon diagram to fight against it. At this moment, the power of the great dragon sword soul was displayed with every move he made. He did not use his unique technique. After all, he was still hiding his identity. He was afraid that these people would recognize him. However, with his demonic power and the power of the great dragon sword soul, it was enough to fight against them. From time to time, he would use his soul to attack. Once these people's souls were injured, they would become crazy. It seemed that they could not distinguish between friend and foe. Lin Xian was besieged by more than a dozen people, but he was not at a disadvantage. Damn it, who the hell is this? He's too strong. The top geniuses of our clan of the ancients are just SOSO. The people from the purple government palace looked gloomy. Damn it, their purple government palace was all-encompassing and had many divine powers. However, they found that the other party seemed to be even more terrifying. Not only were his moves sharp, but they could also transform into anything. It seemed that the other party had mastered thousands of divine powers. Who is he? It was useless. At this moment, another strong cultivator came and completely surrounded Lin Xian. Boy, are you very strong? The Qilin from before was injured by us. Do you think you can withstand it? Indeed, no matter how strong Lin Xian was, he was only an early-stage Saint King. The demonic beasts at the peak of the Saint King realm had been driven away by them. They were ready to join forces again. Lin Xian naturally felt great pressure. Dragon-shaped sword chi flew out of his body and condensed into thousands of purple gourds. Then he said, "I don't want these gourds. You can have them." He waved his hand, and a gourd flew to the Light Clan. The woman from the Light Clan immediately caught it and laughed. However, the next moment, she was dumbfounded because she found that after the first gourd, thousands of other gourds flew out. Damn it, are they illusions? Someone attacked. No, they couldn't tell the difference. How did he do it? These people found that each gourd seemed to be real. There was a sharp purple path aura on them. It was impossible to tell. They could only discover it when they attacked personally. Thousands of purple gourds flew in all directions. Everyone was fighting for them. Lin Xian took advantage of this opportunity to tear open the void and quickly leave. Spatial divine powers? Keep an eye on him. An old man shouted angrily. This was a late-stage Saint King, and he was from the purple government palace. His eyes shone with purple light like two divine lamps, enveloping heaven and earth. Lin Xian felt as though he had been immobilized. That old man was sent flying. "Little brat, do you think you can escape?" "Treasure, it's in your hands." What a terrifying eye technique. Lin Xian found that the people from the purple government palace were really difficult to deal with. This should be a top eye technique. Did they also have it? Chapter 4660. Lin Xian turned his head. A golden light flickered in his eyes and collided with the other party's light. Then the old man's soul shook, but he quickly shouted angrily, "It's useless. Leave it for me." He stretched out his palm and turned it into a heavenly steel, suppressing Lin Xian. The ground below kept shattering. Lin Xian's face was cold. He held the Great Destruction Sword tightly in one hand and the mysterious jade pedestal in the other. There was a teleportation array engraved on it that could allow him to leave this place instantly. However, the purple heavenly steel seemed to be able to seal everything. This thing could even seal heavenly demons, let alone you. The old man laughed loudly and descended from the sky. He had already arrived in front of Lin Xian. At this moment, a little monkey flew over from the black demonic chi. He was holding a purple gourd. A clear voice sounded. "Ya, baby, please turn around." The purple gourd shone brightly and suddenly opened. A sword light flew out from inside. The heavenly steel was split open. The old man's body was split in half, and even his soul was destroyed. This shocking scene made everyone go crazy. What appeared in the purple gourd? A flying sword. Was that an immortal sword? That was a late-stage Saint King. He was actually split in half by a sword, and his soul was destroyed. It was too unbelievable. Lin Xian was also stunned. It was so powerful. This flying sword was too terrifying. The flying sword in the sky flew back and entered the purple gourd. Little White looked around and said again, "Ya, baby, please turn around." However, this time, no flying sword flew out. Little White said, I've used up all my strength. It seems like I can only use it once." The surrounding people came back to their senses and quickly attacked. Taking advantage of this opportunity, they had to get the item. Lin Xian grabbed Little White and activated the mysterious jade pedestal. The array formation activated and teleported them away. Those Saint Kings roared crazily and attacked, shattering the void millions of miles away. However, they could no longer see anyone. In a quiet desert, Lin Xian walked out of the void. Little White was still experimenting. "Baby, please turn around." However, no flying sword flew out. What was going on? Lin Xian asked. "Xiao Bai said that with my strength, I'm afraid I can only use it once a day. Was it that magical? Let me try." After Lin Xian took it, he said, "Baby, please turn around." However, it was still useless. Little White squinted her crescent-shaped eyes and said, "I've already dripped my blood and soul on it. You can't use it." Lin Xian said, "You little rascal, when did you use it?" "So fast." Xiao Bai said, "This thing seems to be made for me to use." He lifted Little White up. Although he couldn't use this thing, it was the same for Little White. It could be considered a super powerful trump card. At this moment, the sand under their feet suddenly became hot. A wave of flames swept out, forming a cage that sealed off the entire world. "What's wrong?" Little White flew up in surprise and looked around with her big eyes. Lin Xian frowned. Someone was actually chasing after them. Could this flame be? "Brat, I didn't expect you to obtain this treasure in the end. You're really lucky." A cold snort was heard. Immediately after, the Qilin's figure walked out. Divine flames overflowed from his body as he stared at Lin Xian and then at Little White. "Little monkey, hand over the gourd in your hand." "Ya, I already have the soul and bloodline imprint of this thing. It's useless to give it to you." Little White waved her hand and said, "Big guy, you should leave." "Humph, leave it to me. I'll erase your soul imprint. If I really can't, I'll kill you." Purple Qilin's eyes erupted with a terrifying light. Lin Xian said coldly, "You're from the Qilin clan, and also a top-tier saint beast. Why do you have to lower yourself to the level of 2 juniors? Why don't you give it to me?" "Give it to you? How naive. Brat, you'll definitely die today." Fire Qilin took a step forward, and terrifying flames swept out. Lin Xian felt a monstrous power. He struck out a terrifying dragon-shaped sword chi to block it. At the same time, he slashed the void with his sword and released the flames into the void. You have some tricks up your sleeve. It seems like you have some treasures on you. Since that's the case, I can't let you live. Purple Qilin walked over and stared at the two of them. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You don't know what's good for you, but you actually walked over yourself. If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Purple Qilin was stunned. You ant. What did you say? You want to kill me? What a joke. Do you know how strong I am? Lin Xian sneered. So what if you're at the peak of the Saint King realm? Previously, you were beaten up by those experts and were seriously injured. Instead of recuperating, you came out to seek death. I'm seriously injured, but killing you is as easy as flipping my hand. He was at the peak of the Saint King realm, and the other party was only at the early stage of the Saint King realm. The gap between the two of them was really too big. It could be said that a single glance could kill these two ants. Go to hell. He had no more patience. With a wave of his claws, he slapped towards Lin Xian. In his opinion, this attack would definitely kill Lin Xian. The void above him split open. Similarly, a sharp claw slapped out and collided with the fire Qilin. With a boom, the Qilin was forced back. His face was full of shock. How is this possible? Does he have such battle prowess? In the next instant, he saw a small vortex appear on his opponent's body. Then, a vermilion bird flew out. It had 3 eyes, especially the third eye, which bloomed with divine fire. Even as Qilin fire felt threatened, demonic beast, you actually have a divine beast protecting you. This is really too unbelievable. Purple Qilin tore open the void and turned to flee. His opponent was also at the peak of the Saint King realm and was also a mutated species. More importantly, he was seriously injured. He could kill an ant at the early stage of the Saint King realm, but he didn't have any advantage against an expert of the same level. So he had to leave. You want to leave? The 3-eyed vermilion bird tore open the void and charged out. Its wings cut off the other party's escape route. Lin Xian walked over from behind. Since you're here, don't leave. Kid, do you dare to kill me? I'm from the Qilin race. I'm a divine beast. Qilin shouted coldly. Lin Xian said, So, what if you're from the Qilin race? You're not a true descendant of the monarch race. You're just a purple Qilin. Besides, you're here to kill me. You want me to let you go? If you want to live, kneel down obediently and submit to me. Let me plant the seal of life and death in your soul. Lin Xian's eyes shone brightly. Purple Qilin roared. You want to control me? Damn it, you're a beast tamer. Lin Xian laughed. That's right. Since you know my identity, submit obediently, and you can live. Otherwise, I'll refine you and make you my energy. Ignorant ant, my bloodline is so powerful. You don't deserve to have my Qilin's power. After speaking, he roared into the sky. The suppression of the Qilin's bloodline forced even the 3-eyed vermilion bird to retreat. This was the suppression of the bloodline. Chapter 46-61. However, Lin Xian didn't care at all. A dragon's voice rang out from his body, suppressing the Qilin bloodline. Little White was also there, completely unaffected. How could this be? A monkey and a human actually didn't fear his bloodline? And this human actually let out a dragon's voice. Was he from the dragon race? Looks like you won't submit if I don't teach you a lesson. Lin Xian's eyes lit up, and the 3-eyed vermilion bird attacked. The purple Qilin roared, and the two of them fought fiercely. Luckily, there wasn't anyone in the desert. The purple Qilin was a top-tier saint beast. It was only injured, so it was defeated by the 3-eyed vermilion bird in the end. A pair of sharp claws grabbed the purple Qilin. The purple Qilin fell to the ground and roared. Kid, kill me if you dare. He didn't believe that a human youth had the power to kill him. Lin Xian took out the dragon sword soul and cut off the Qilin's claws. Then he used the hand of fortune. The huge Qilin's claws quickly melted in the hand of fortune and turned into a drop of purple blood. How could this be? What did he do? The purple Qilin spirit was terrified. One had to know that his physique was so strong that a Saint King could injure him. What made him even more terrified was that Lin Xian could easily dissolve the energy in his body. Lin Xian condensed his claws and turned them into the purest energy. This was too unbelievable. This person was full of secrets. I submit. I'm willing to be your guardian beast. The purple Qilin had no choice but to lower his head in order to save his life. Very good. Let go of your soul, and let me plant the seal of life and death. If you dare to resist, I'll kill you. Lin Xian started to use the seal of life and death. However, the purple Qilin was a top-tier saint beast. Even if it didn't resist, it still took him 10 days to complete it. After it was done, the purple Qilin's expression changed. Although it still retained its intelligence, there was a force in the depths of its soul that made it unable to resist Lin Xian's orders. At this moment, it was lying there respectfully. Lin Xian sat cross-legged and recovered quickly. This time, he had used up all his soul energy to plant the seal of life, and his soul energy was extremely weak. He had to recover quickly. It took him another half a month to recover the strength of his soul to its peak. It was too difficult. With his current strength, it was very difficult for him to control a pinnacle saint beast. Fortunately, it was Violet who was heavily injured this time. Otherwise, he would not have been able to control the other party. The most he could do was run away from the other party. Almost a month had passed. He wondered how the others were doing. Did you find any treasures? According to Lin Xian's conjecture, the others should have gained something. However, they probably wouldn't be able to obtain a heaven-shaking treasure in a short period of time. After all, the purple gourd was something he had spent a great deal of effort to guess. The other treasures would definitely be extremely dangerous as well. His guess was correct. Those experts and geniuses had all gained something, but they weren't satisfied. It was because they had discovered an even greater opportunity. However, it was even more dangerous. Either there was a peerless formation, or the treasure itself was incomparably heaven-defying and impossible to obtain. In the sky, 3 figures quickly flew past. They were extremely fast, as if they were looking for something. At this moment, a streamer streaked across the sky and blocked their path. The streamer was even faster than them. Guangming stopped and turned to look at the 3 people in front of him. He asked coldly, "What information did you get?" "Hand it over." The 3 people stopped. They were the 3 experts from the Wind Clan. Their faces were cold. "Our business has nothing to do with you, right? Get lost." Guangming sneered. "You don't know what's good for you. It seems that you don't understand my strength." He rushed over at his maximum speed. "You're courting death. Do you really think that I don't dare to attack you? If you die here, no one will know that it's us. Attack." The 3 experts were furious and rushed forward. On the surface, these remote antiquity families and sects were at peace, and even allied with each other. However, each of them was an opponent. If there was a chance to kill the geniuses of the other families, they would naturally attack. Soon, they realized that they were wrong. Although they were from the Wind Clan and had mastered the power of the wind, they were much slower than Guangming. They couldn't find any trace of Guangming at all. Guangming's every attack made them vomit blood. "You're too slow. You're like a snail in front of me." Not long after, the 3 of them vomited blood and were suppressed. Guangming's eyes flickered as he interrogated them. Finally, he got some information. With a wave of his hand, Guangming killed the 3 of them. In the next moment, he soared into the sky. On the other side, Yi Wudao was fighting with the people from the Holy Heavens clan. In the end, he obtained 2 divine crystals that had something sealed inside. Jin Wu Hao attacked the people from the Pill Cauldron School and snatched a spirit fruit. Half of the spirit fruit had been petrified, but it was still a mysterious treasure. Feng Huang, Sheng Tai and Xiu Xie, and the others were doing their best to find the treasure. Gradually, they flew in the same direction. In that direction, a terrifying power was released. Qin Xian'er stopped in a mountain range. She frowned when she saw that there was a battle in front of her. The ones fighting were Violet Palace realm experts and other experts. The one fighting was a light-shaking realm expert. The light-shaking realm expert was very powerful. He used the great desolate skyrending palm and killed 4 mid-stage holy kings in an instant. Then he sealed their bodies and took them away. Qin Xian'er was shocked. Could this guy be? Who is he? The light-shaking realm expert turned his head and looked at her. When he saw that it was Qin Xian'er, his killing intent disappeared. He took a step forward and came to Qin Xian'er's side. Qin Xian'er asked, "Are you going to cultivate that cultivation technique?" The light-shaking realm expert sneered. "You know quite a lot. Although you're one of the successors of the Immortal Mountain, I advise you to mind your own business. Successors can also die. No one can be sure who will be the final successor. If you die, someone will take your place. So it's best for you to pretend that you don't know anything. As for the divine ability you mentioned, I can start cultivating it when I get back." The light-shaking realm expert snorted and left. Qin Xian'er's face was pale. He dared to cultivate that kind of demonic cultivation technique. Wasn't he afraid of making the world his enemy? The Violet Palace realm was all-encompassing. They had many cultivation techniques and divine abilities, but some of them couldn't be cultivated. First of all, the conditions to cultivate them were very strict. Only a small number of geniuses had the qualifications to cultivate them. Moreover, even if they cultivated them, they wouldn't dare to use them because it was a taboo martial art that wasn't allowed to appear in the world. But now, the Violet Palace realm was going to let a light-shaking realm expert cultivate them? That's too inconceivable. Forget it. I can't do anything about it. Qin Xian'er shook her head. It was better not to provoke this guy. Otherwise, her life would be in danger. When she thought of this, her figure flickered and left. In the vast desert, suddenly, there was another change. Lin Xian opened his eyes. What was going on? Chapter 46-62. He wanted to leave, but the situation shocked him. The desert moved quickly, forming quicksand and a huge whirlpool. Then the ground cracked and a terrifying aura spread out. There was something shocking under the desert. Lin Xian was shocked. He wanted to check it out, but he left in an instant and flew into the distance. The aura here instantly alarmed many people. Experts descended to investigate the area. Great, there was actually a treasure trove here. Perhaps the secret of the heavenly court was here. Several figures descended one after another, and then they began to fight. They tore through the 9 heavens and swept through the area. They were all peak sage kings. They were strong enough to destroy everything. Lin Xian watched from afar and was sweating. Although he was far away, he could see clearly with his eye technique. He could even feel the terrifying aura coming from under the desert. More and more experts were making their way to this place. Among them, there were a few who were unusually strong. Lin Xian gasped. He did not expect that there would be such experts after the great sages and peak sage kings were teleported away. It had to be said that there were too many experts in the remote antiquity families and great sections. Those experts looked solemn when they arrived. At the same time, a few figures descended. One of them had the sage sky diagram around him. He was like an unparalleled god of war. He was extremely strong. Sage Tianba, Peak Sage King from the Sage Sky clan. His arrival caused the entire world to tremble. There was indeed a treasure. Another cold voice sounded. It was a golden crow. He was extremely strong and was called Golden Crow Flame. He was also a Peak Sage King. Buzz. The sky was filled with hurricanes. A lady from the Wind clan walked out. She was the younger sister of the Wind clan leader. Her name was Feng Hua. She was a Peak Sage King. Although the other clans and sects also had Peak Sage Kings, they were still weaker than the three of them. These three people were also unparalleled existences among the Peak Saint Kings. The three of them stood at the front and looked down at the desert. The other experts stood around them. Lin Xian watched from afar. At this moment, a black figure came to his side. Lin Xian turned around and realized that it was Heishan. Speaking of which, where did you go? Black Mountain said that he went to get something. Next, I have to enter the desert, and I need your help. Was it to break the array? Lin Xian asked. Heishan shook his head. Let them break the array formation. When the time comes, I want to go in and take something. That is my purpose for coming here. However, I might need some of your blood. A drop of blood. What was Lin Xian surprised about? Heishan smiled mysteriously. Let's not talk about it now. However, if you help me, I won't treat you unfairly. When the time comes, I will also help you obtain the treasure. Lin Xian nodded. Although there were many Peak Saint Kings in front of him, and even 3 top experts, Lin Xian had nothing to fear with Heishan around. Moreover, he still had many trump cards. At this moment, Feng Hua made her move. With a wave of her jade-like hand, the storm that filled the sky fell down. The endless desert was torn apart, causing the crack to widen even more. Everyone could clearly see that there was a stone door below. It was extremely thick and heavy, as if it was blocking everything. Let me do it. After the storm, Sheng Tianba made his move. He took a step forward, and the Sage Sky diagram rotated and blasted the stone door below. With a hong sound, heaven and earth shook. Cracks appeared in all directions. Such power was enough to shatter the outside world. Only the ancient ruins of the heavenly court was extremely powerful. The stone door in front of them had a crack. It was obvious that it had been pushed open. Everyone was shocked. How powerful was Sheng Tianba? Even with the Sage Sky diagram, he could only open a crack. From the looks of it, it would take a lot of energy to completely open it. Golden Crow House said from afar. Elder, quickly call the old ancestor over. In front of them, Golden Crow, Lai Yen nodded and waved his hand. A spell flew out and flew into the sky. He was summoning their great saints. The other clans of the ancients and the great sects also moved. In the current situation, it was better to let the great saints come. However, after waiting for a while, they frowned. None of the great saints came. What was going on? I can't seem to sense the old ancestor's aura. Could it be the old ancestor didn't come in? How was that possible? The first to enter were the great saints, but until now they had not discovered anything. Thinking about it carefully, they did not even see the great saints in some of the important treasures. It was too unbelievable. Would the great saints be willing to give up these treasures? Wind Phoenix frowned. It seemed that some of the Peak Saint Kings of the Wind clan did not see them either. The others were discussing among themselves. What was going on? These people were the first to enter. At this moment, there was no news. Could it be that something had happened? Thinking of this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. It was impossible. Some people shook their heads. Those great saints were heaven-defying. Even if there was danger, they could still leave calmly. They must be in an even more mysterious place to seize the treasures. Here, let us do it. That's right, the experts of the Serene Cloud sect also walked over. The others were ready to join forces again. Everyone listened and attacked together. With the three peak Saint Kings in charge, everyone attacked together. Lin Xian was also among them. He released his extreme demonic qi. Finally, under the joint efforts of everyone, the terrifying stone door opened. A desolate aura spread out from inside. Let's go! The three peak Saint Kings took the lead. The others followed suit. Not long after, an earth-shattering sound came from inside. All kinds of laws flew out. Sensing the scene, Lin Xian frowned and sneered. They started fighting so quickly, it seemed that he could reap the benefits again. Heishan walked over and said, "Kid, we can't wait any longer. The things inside are extremely important to me. I have to get them quickly." As he spoke, he flew over. Lin Xian was surprised. What was it? He followed closely behind. After the two of them entered, they found that there was another world inside. It was incomparably vast, and at this moment, all the experts had entered. After entering, these people's eyes turned red because they found that there were some spiritual herbs growing on the ground. They were very old, at least tens of thousands of years old. Quickly take action. This kind of thing could not be found outside. One stalk was priceless, and here there were more than a dozen stalks. In an instant, there were Saint Kings taking action. The people of the Holy Heavens clan took out the Holy Heavens diagram and enveloped them with a few stalks of spiritual herbs. The people of the Light clan tore apart the other party's divine ability and attacked. The people of the Wind clan and the Serene Cloud sect also joined the battle. The experts of the Pill Cauldron sect were even more powerful. With the Pill Cauldron in hand, they swept through the surroundings. As alchemists, they were naturally jealous of such old herbs, so they had to get their hands on them no matter what. A great battle broke out. In an instant, everyone was fighting for it. Chapter 46-63. Kid, let's go deeper. Heishan said. Although these things were good, he did not care about them. He only had one goal, which was to get that thing. Everything else did not matter. No, I have to get one. This thing might be able to extend my life. After all, it was an old medicine from tens of thousands of years ago. Lin Xian was looking for such a spiritual medicine to extend Xia Zhouyo's life. Now that he saw it, how could he stop? Therefore, he attacked in an instant. Little White, make a move in secret. You must get one. Lin Xian let Little White out. The little fellow nodded, hugging the treasure bowl and hiding in the void. Lin Xian went to the other side. He did not go to the place where the Peak Sage Kings were fighting. He went to the other side. There were many young geniuses there. If he fought again, there would be a few older experts. Lin Xian did not hide this time. He struck out with the human ruler seal. The black demonic qi was terrifying. The sky darkened instantly. A pile of black demonic seals flew forward. Not good. The pupils of the people who were fighting in the front shrank. This power was really too strong. Retreat. Everyone retreated one after another. A few who retreated too slowly were directly slapped into a bloody mist. Who was it? How terrifying! Many people turned around. Their eyes were shining brightly. Among them, Jin Wuhao sneered. He struck out with his palm. A golden flame swept out and collided with the black figure. The earth-shattering power shook the sky. Jin Wuhao retreated. His arm was numb. His face was cold. The other party could fight with him. It was unbelievable. Buzz. At this moment, a black sword with a cold and gloomy aura shrouded the area. Suddenly, 7 figures were pierced. They vomited blood and flew backward. How terrifying! The evil spirit came, holding the evil sword. He sneered, "Get lost if you don't want to die." After he finished speaking, he slashed out 2 more times. It was incomparably vast, and some middle-stage Saint Kings fell. When the others saw this, they retreated. There were too many experts. They could not hold them back. You get lost too. The evil spirit looked at Lin Xian and snorted coldly before charging at him again. Lin Xian was fearless. He took out great destruction and faced the attack head-on. When the two of them collided, Worski's power surged. Just the residual power of the collision alone was enough to cause the surrounding people's blood to boil. As he attacked, Lin Xian formed a seal, and the primordial demonic mountain came crashing down. Demonic chi filled the air. The evil spirit was pushed back, its face cold. "Who are you?" He was too surprised. Those who could fight on par with him were definitely the top few. However, he had never known a demonic cultivator to be so terrifying. Scram! Lin Xian didn't waste any more words. He stared at the 10,000-year-old medicine and quickly rushed over. "Don't even think about having your way." Golden Crow How charged over. The terrifying flames blotted out the sky and rushed towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian countered with a man-ruler seal, forcing his opponent to retreat. Blood flowed from the corners of Jinwu Hao's lips. He roared. What were they waiting for? Attack together. And all of you kill him together. Otherwise, no one can stop him. The other elders and geniuses were shocked as well. Indeed, this demonic cultivator was too ferocious. Even the evil spirit and Golden Crow How were no match for him. None of them could suppress the other in a one-on-one fight. They had to work together to kill this strongest person. Only then would they have a chance. Everyone attacked together. With the elder taking the lead, the others also surrounded Lin Xian. Lin Xian's expression was cold. "Scram! I don't want to kill you. Don't make me do it." "Kill him!" Golden Crow How roared and charged forward with his people. On the other side, some people also made their move. More than a dozen figures quickly charged towards Lin Xian. None of them were weak. Lin Xian felt immense pressure. He snorted coldly. "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." Buzz. A genius from the Wind tribe charged to Lin Xian's back and slashed down with a sharp blade. Lin Xian's body swayed. With a swing of his shoulder, he shattered the blade wind. At the same time, he turned around and slashed his opponent into two. In the blink of an eye, a genius had fallen. It made everyone's scalp go numb. The others roared, "Kill him!" The pagoda fell from the sky. The people from the Holy Heavens tribe pushed it, but it was destroyed by Lin Xian's punch. At this moment, Lin Xian's body was filled with a strong demonic aura. It turned into a demonic sword and swept in all directions. His physique was even more powerful than any saint weapon. The great destruction in his hand blocked the attacks of the Golden Crow How and the evil spirit. It was as if a giant dragon had rushed into a pack of wolves sweeping across the land. Buzz. A middle-aged man suddenly appeared and blocked Lin Xian. He sent out thousands of palm shadows. In the blink of an eye, he blocked Lin Xian's path. This was an expert from the Light tribe. He was a late-stage holy king. Lin Xian could not dodge in time and took the punch head-on. Boom. In the next moment, he was pushed back and the demonic aura on his body was torn apart. "It's you." Many people were stunned when they saw Lin Xian. Golden Crow How's eyes turned red. "You're not dead." Some people frowned. How could this be? They saw Lin Xian. Lin Xian did not hide it. "That's right, it's me. I helped you break the array, but you wanted my life. Since that's the case, you can go to hell." Human ruler seal. Yi Fuqian sent out 3 Renwang Madras at the Mighty One from the Light clan. The Mighty One roared furiously and fought back. He was a holy king. However, Lin Xian's fighting strength had reached its peak. The great dragon sword spirit roared continuously. Lin Xian's fighting strength had increased exponentially, Every attack was stronger than before. The expert from the Light tribe felt his blood boil. Damn it, he could fight against a late-stage Holy King. Kill him quickly. He could not be allowed to continue growing. Buzz. At this moment, a finger flew towards Lin Xian. With a boom, it pierced through Lin Xian's shoulder. Lin Xian almost fell to the ground. He suddenly turned around and used great destruction to push back the opponent's palm. What a terrifying physique. After the person was pushed back, her face turned cold. She was also a late-stage Holy King. She was from the Purple Mansion realm and cultivated the ancient technique Dragon Elephant Finger. Even if it was a late-stage Saint King, this attack would be enough to shatter him into pieces. However, there was only a finger-sized hole in Lin Xian's body. She found it hard to believe. Kill. Lin Xian roared and waved his hands. A large crack flew out. Now that he had revealed the true identity of the great desolate heaven-splitting hand, he did not need to hide it anymore. Therefore, he used this technique at this moment. The person from the Purple Mansion realm used the Dragon Elephant Finger to fight back, but she was pushed back and vomited blood. Damn it. How could it be? How could he comprehend it in such a short time? He must be crazy. This was also an ancient technique. However, it was extremely difficult to cultivate. Lin Xian had obtained it from the Purple Mansion realm, and it was not much weaker than his Dragon Elephant Finger. He did not know that Lin Xian had the great dragon sword spirit and could cultivate this technique at the fastest speed. As long as he could grasp the essence of the technique, the great dragon sword spirit would be able to unleash unlimited power. Chapter 46-64. The Great Desolate Heaven-Splitting Palm. Another attack was launched at Jin Wu Hao. Jin Wu Hao tried his best to block the attack, but his body was still torn in half. He roared like a madman as his body rapidly retreated. Lin Xian turned around and stared at the evil spirit. The evil spirit roared and attacked together. He brought 4 figures with him and charged over. One of them was an elder. The evil spirit's sword slashed at Lin Xian's body, tearing open a wound. Lin Xian did not dodge. The great desolate heaven-splitting palm flew out again, turning one of the evil spirit's arms into a bloody mist. The evil spirit's sword fell. At this moment, an elder appeared behind Lin Xian. Wind Dragon Fist. This was an expert from the Wind tribe. Lin Xian had a Taiji diagram behind him, blocking the attack. The aura of death enveloped the elder, draining his life force. He retreated in fear. Damn it, his originally gray hair had already become incomparably pale. Lin Xian fought against more than 10 people alone. A few of them died, and Jin Wu Hao, the evil spirit, and the others were injured. Lin Xian was also injured, but the more he fought, the more courageous he became. His physique was strong, and this injury was nothing to him. Finally, he reached the front and looked at the spiritual herb, his eyes shining. It was a black spiritual herb, like the flower of 9 underworlds, blooming continuously. Lin Xian did not know what effect it had. He would get it first. Countless seals appeared on his palm, and Lin Xian grabbed forward. Damn it! Jin Wu Hao's broken body healed, and he attacked again. The others attacked as well. The Dragon Elephant Finger and Wind Dragon Fist were all aimed at Lin Xian. Lin Xian did not dodge, and the Great Sage Pagoda appeared behind him to block. Heaven and earth shook, and the Great Sage Pagoda blocked all the attacks. Lin Xian finally grabbed the spiritual herb. Damn it, what is this pagoda? It's so terrifying. The others were shocked. The eyes of those from the Purple Mansion sect shone. A great sage artifact? He actually had such a defense. At this moment, Lin Xian had already grabbed the 9 Serenities flower. Then he rose into the air and prepared to leave. Elder, stop him. he had a supreme treasure with him. Golden Crow How roared, and a golden palm came from afar. That was a peak stage Saint King, and right now he was engaged in a great battle elsewhere. Hearing Golden Crow How's call, a hand grabbed Lin Xian. With a clang, he grabbed the great sage pagoda, wanting to seal it completely. If he could obtain it, his power would increase tenfold, or even 100-fold. Humph! Lin Xian coldly snorted and summoned the great dragon sword soul. The 2 drops of essence blood that he had refined earlier merged into the great dragon sword soul. A sword slashed out. The palm was severed. A roar came from the distance. An old man in the distant battlefield pulled back his arm. At this moment, white bones could be seen, and blood flowed out. Jinwu Hao and the others were also dumbfounded. What was this? Killing a peak stage Saint King with a single slash. Do you still want to fight? Lin Xian looked around. This attack had made 2 drops of his essence blood disappear. If he used it again, he would have to use his own strength. He didn't want to use it in such a dangerous place. However, if these people didn't know what was good for them, he wouldn't mind. Kid, just you wait. The evil spirit was afraid. Lin Xian had a supreme treasure with him. It was too strange. His defense was strong, and his attack was unparalleled. There was no way to fight him. He could only retreat and go for something else. Jinwu Hao also gritted his teeth and left. The others also retreated. The people from the Purple Mansion sect coldly stared at Lin Xian. Brat, you don't have many good days left. Enjoy them slowly. The sword attack just now had shocked him. The Purple Mansion sect had been passed down for a long time, and he could already guess what it was. So when they returned, they had to hurry up and kill this young man. Humph! Lin Xian snorted and slashed out again. The great dragon sword roared and attacked the Purple Mansion sect's expert. Damn it! The Purple Mansion sect's expert's face turned green. How could Lin Xian still be able to use it? In his opinion, whether it was the Great Sage Tower or the Flowing Dragon Sword, they both surpassed the strength of a holy king. It was already heaven-defying for an early-stage holy king to be able to use it once. He probably didn't have the strength to use it a second time. But now he was wrong. His arms were broken, and the dragon elephant phantom blocked in front of him. He spat out half a mouthful of blood that covered his broken arms. Then he quickly fled. Boom! The dragon elephant phantom roared and charged towards the great dragon sword shadow with a bloody aura. Boom! 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 The dragon elephant phantom was destroyed, and the Purple Mansion sect's expert was sent flying. He fled in fear, and he didn't dare to return. Lin Xian's face turned pale, and he put away the great dragon sword soul. It consumed too much energy, and he couldn't use it unless he had no other choice. He looked around and collected the interspatial rings of these people. As for the corpses, he didn't give up. Lin Xian could refine these corpses into blood essence. It could be used to refine his body, and it could also be used by the great dragon sword soul at a critical moment. Whether it was his body or the great dragon sword soul, they were both bottomless pits, so he wouldn't give up on these corpses. He formed seals with his palms, and one seal after another enveloped the corpses. At this moment, he was stunned. He realized that there was someone else collecting the corpses. Lin Xian raised his head to look at the other person, and the other person also turned to look at him. "It's you? It's you." Their voices sounded at the same time. The person in front was Yao Guang, and he was surrounded by fiend god phantoms. At this moment, he was also sealing the corpses. Lin Xian frowned. "What do you want these corpses for?" Yao Guang laughed. "What are you collecting them for?" To be honest, Yao Guang was also puzzled. He was collecting the corpses because he was going to cultivate a forbidden divine ability. This divine ability was extremely terrifying, so he had to prepare in advance. However, he didn't expect Lin Xian to be the same as him. What did he want them for? Could it be that the other party also knew a forbidden divine ability? However, he shook his head. There were probably not many people in the Purple Mansion realm who dared to cultivate such a forbidden divine ability. The other party had no chance to learn it, so he was even more puzzled. However, this guy wasn't weak and he didn't want to fight with him now. Yao Guang turned around and left. Lin Xian stared at the other party for a long time, but he didn't make a move. He turned around and looked. On the other side, Little White had already begun to move in secret. Those people were quickly snatching. Little White was using the treasure bowl and the hand of fortune to secretly snatch the herbs. Finally, an expert from the 10,000 Transformations Gate grabbed the stalk of old medicine. At this moment, Little White was gone. The old medicine disappeared without a trace. Damn it! Who was it? The eyes of the expert from the Myriad Transformation sect turned red. He had gone through untold hardships to obtain it. In the end, it was snatched away in an instant. Moreover, that power was too strange. He didn't understand why only a leaf was left. There were very few eyes. The power of Myriad Transformation flew out, and everything around him was quickly disintegrated. This guy was crazy. Those who were still fighting over the treasures quickly retreated. Wherever they passed, the void would tear apart continuously. A white figure flew into the distance. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.